Lighting is bad on this.
This is your last chance. After this, there is no turning back. You take the blue pill. The story ends. You wake up in your bed and believe whatever you want to believe. You take the red pill. You stay in Wonderland. And I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. Remember, all I'm offering is the truth, nothing more.
It's your friend's birthday, and you want to find something that's just right for them.
Hold on.
What do you choose? Down.
I hate when it says that. It's crazy.
Yeah. Love. Hey. Love. I told y'all we would be the band to play. My ghetto butterfly flew away from me. I wait patiently by windows and doorsteps. Play make-believe as my tears pour chest. Won't succeed to breathe if not to hear of you. Surely there's never been a shade so blue. A stank attitude, so not mad at you. Not a magnitude to encompass the latitude of my love for you. No space or time compatible. What do I have to do? What do I have to do? Ooh, my friends say I got it bad for you. I do, but there's nothing in this world I'd rather do but you. I want to make love to your existence, drenched in the colors of your energy, then masturbate to the memories. I want to lose myself inside yourself until you find me, confine me to the freedom of your prison, existing the same space, same time. Combine until your thoughts slow grind with mine. Combine until your thoughts slow grind with mine. Combine until your thoughts slow grind with mine. I wanna drink the sweat of your intellect, reflect and watch your light passion mark my neck. Caress the sight of your presence with no question. Undress to the nakedness of love, pure love. I want to make love to my soulmate. My soulmate, make love to my soulmate. My soulmate, make love to my soulmate. Shit. I wonder, how does it feel to make love to your soulmate? Kind of like writing poetry till climax, till the point and place where our space and time match and we cross divine paths. Tell me, would you like that? Now would you like that? Tell me, would you like that? Would you like that? Tell me, would you like that? Would you like that? I'm ask you again now. Tell me, would you like that? Tell me, would you like that? Now would you like that? Tell me, would you like that? Would you like that? Tell me. I wanna love you more than madly. Wrap these legs around your words until your speech is straddled deep. Gladly swim the currents of your vibration. Be separate and one with the same meditation. Same meditation. You know what? This right here is poetry. Yeah. Julie, you gotta play that saxophone now. Hey. If love had a sound, this would be that sound. And we would be the band to play it.
Peace, family. I am so sorry I was a little late. Welcome to Aquarius Rising, the ninth gate. I want to welcome our YouTube family, and of course, I always got to welcome our family on FB. Now, FB family, for some reason, the screen is really dark. I'm not quite sure why. If like everything was perfect before, of course, our show goes on, I want to give a big up to the fam. Oh my gosh! I think I had our Blog Talk family on mute. I'm sorry, Blog Talk family. Peace to the Blog Talk family. Big up to y'all. I'm sorry I had you on mute still. Welcome to Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate. I am here. I am your host. I am, hopefully a decent host, Fleur Brun. And again, I'm doing both sides. Hope everyone has their snacks tonight. We're discussing a very sultry topic, and I'm perfectly aware and ready for this topic tonight. So big up to y'all. You know I got to do the shout outs from nation to nation. First, before we start out, I want to give my condolences and some positive, masterful, wonderful healing energy to Puerto Rico. You know, we have a huge family in Puerto Rico right now. They do not have electricity, a lot of flooding. They have been devastated by Hurricane Maria. So for all of our family, please send well wishes, nurturing love and energy towards them, so that maybe perhaps they'll be able to recover from such a devastating hit that this genetically modified weather machine has done once again to one of our sister islands, Puerto Rico. And you know our family, our Puerto Rican family is like 30 deep. And I'm so upset that I can't even get in contact with any of them. So please send well wishes to Puerto Rico. Our people, make sure that, we just want to send that loving, energetic field around them so that they feel, solace in a time that there's a lot of upheaval there. So I will keep everybody updated as far as our family there once I can get in contact with them. So shout out to Puerto Rico, who's undergone a lot of distress right now after the hurricane hit them. So big up to our family. I see everybody's in the house. I'm sorry, Blog Talk, I had you still on mute. I don't know why you didn't hear the masterful poetry that we had tonight. Of course, hold on one second. I'm sorry it's so dark on my Facebook. Family, if you're on Facebook, you can always go to YouTube. It's much brighter and clearer over here. So join us on YouTube. That's a wonderful thing about having three different platforms, okay, that you can join us at. And we're going to start off with our shout outs. I do want to make you aware of the poet tonight. That was Akua Naru. She's phenomenal. I love her poetry. Really masterful. How does it feel now? That's the poetry. It's kicking off a sultry night tonight. This is what we call Fleur Brun's after hours topic. So for all those who have little people who are still up, I suggest you put them to bed. You have a little time while I do shout outs. Put the little people in bed. Anybody 14 and under should not be listening to this. I tell you, parents, because we're going to be using some piloted language, some situational issues when we're discussing. I'm going to have free callers calling in all this evening. So we want to make sure we protect the babies tonight. So put all the little ones, close their doors, muff their ears, because it's an adult night. This is Fleur Brun After Dark. So big up to our family. Are we going to do shout outs? Big up to Greenville, North Carolina in the house. Big up to y'all. Big up to our family in Texas, still recovering from the storm. Big up to y'all. Big up to our family in Austin, Texas. We got Kansas City in the house. What up, Rachel Lee? Big up to you. We got New Orleans in the house. Always Jason Ruth Lee representing. Big up to you. Chicago in the house. What up, Yaya? Connecticut representing. Melanin Queen. Big up. Toledo's in the house. Latia. Baltimore's in the house. Nina. What's good? We got Atlanta, Georgia in the house. We've got Long Beach, California. Is that California in the house? Peace, Detroit. Detroit's in the house. Philly's representing. What's up, Wisconsin, Quebec? Pittsburgh, Australia. Pennsylvania's in the house. We've got Detroit, of course, Tacoma, Washington. Washington's in the house. Charlotte, North Carolina, and South Carolina's in the house. What's good? Cali representing as usual. Philadelphia, NYC, Bronx. What's up, Skit Slits representing for the Uptown. Big up to y'all. ATL in the house. Salt Lake City, New Orleans again, Cincinnati, Nebraska's in the house. What's good? Salt Lake City, I've got you. London, ooh, QK is in the house. How you doing? Winston-Salem, North Carolina's in the house. Big up to y'all. LA again. Toronto, Canada. Big up to our Canadian family. San Antonio, Texas. San Diego, California. Raleigh, North Carolina. Toledo, Ohio's in the house. Another Bronx in the house. BX. Vancouver, Canada's in the house. Upper West Side. I used to live there, David. What up? Upper West Side in the house. In, of course, New York City. My old neck of the woods, Mississippi in the house. Phoenix, Arizona in the house. Petersburg, New Jersey. New Jersey, what's up? What's good? Indianapolis in the house. St. Paul, Minnesota is in the house. Look at this. Beautiful. Bedford, UK is in the house. France. France is in the house. Jersey checking in. What's good? Texas again. Milwaukee is in the house. Wow. Look at this. Beautiful, wonderful, masterful family from all the neck of the woods. Of course, Carlos is my neighbor from Fort Lauderdale representing in the house. Also representing Puerto Rico. That's right, Carlos. Let's send our family members some love over there. ATL again representing in the house. What's good? So family, who else is here? Indianapolis is in the house. Belize is in the house. Big up to Belize. Greece is representing. What's good? North Carolina again. San Francisco's in the house. Indianapolis is in the house. Oh, we've got, look at this. Look at our family. Every area code, every country, every place. NY representing. What's up? New York representing. So, you know, got to give a shout out to, okay, Jose representing for Bronx and Mount Vernon. Indiana's in the house. Renea. North Kakalaki again representing. So who else did we not get? Barbados, our island brethren and sea stars are in the house. What up, Barbados? Sasha's in the house. Iowa's in the house. Big up to y'all in Iowa. Orlando in my neck of the woods. Hey, Martha. Houston, Texas. Big up to you in Houston, Texas. Cleveland, Ohio representing. Toledo. Big up. Indianapolis. Big up. HI, is that Honolulu? Are you coming from Hawaii? Mahalo to those in Hawaii. Connecticut's in the house. Naptown is in the house. Antarctica representing in the house. Look at this. We go into the cooler regions. DC, finally. What up, DC? DC family's in the house. Hey, Maya. Iowa's in the house. So look at this. We're going to, Ohio is in the house. You know our shout outs. I was complaining about Australia down under. Aussie Andy is in the house. Big up to you. Antarctica. Ooh, nice and cool in Antarctica. Big up to y'all in Antarctica. Maryland's in the house. We've got Morro Bay, Cali representing in the house. I hope you're taking notes, family, because some of you are neighbors. Seattle's in the house. You need to link up with your family members in the close regions so that we can start working on bringing ourselves together. Jersey's representing. Chicago in the cut. What's good? Passaic, New Jersey's in the house. Eagle, RKLA is in the house. Ghana is in the house. Peace to our family in Africa. Africa's in the house. Okay, so family, we're going to give a couple shout outs to the places that have not. London again in the house. New Orleans again in the house. So let's give a shout out to those family members that are on. From Spain. Spain is normally in the house. We always have our Norwegian family who's in the house. We big up to Sweden, Switzerland, Finland, Denmark, and Holland. Big up to our Netherlands family. North London representing in the house. Big up to our family in Greece and in Spain. And, of course, our family in Chicago and Delaware is representing. Trinidad and Tobago. Big up to our island brethren. Maryland. Big up to our family in, of course, in Italy. We have a huge family in Italy, especially in Naples and Venice. Big up to you, Northern California. Baton Rouge is in the house. We have a huge family in Turkey. Big up to our family in Turkey. Big up to our family in Germany, especially Connecticut's in the house. Big up to our family, especially in Belgium. I always talk about I prefer Belgium. I loved Belgium chocolate. So big up to our family in Germany. Big up to our family in, of course, in the Green, Virginia's in the house. Big up to our family in Ireland, especially in Dublin. Big up to our beautiful family, our dancing sea stars in Dublin. Southern California represent. What up, Jessica? Houston's in the house. Hey, Nicole. I love your haircut, Nicole. Very nice. Very, very, very Amazonian of you. I like your haircut. Big up to our family in New Zealand. We already have our Aussie family, but of course our New Zealand family. Big up to our family in Portugal. Big up to our family in Greenland and Iceland. We have a nice couple people in Iceland and in actually Greenland. Big up to our family in, of course, our newly found couple. We're going a little further to the Middle East, which is our couple that is getting married from Tel Aviv in Israel and Palestine. Who said that two different sides could not get together? It's beautiful. So big up to our newly fresh couple from Tel Aviv in Israel and in Palestine. Big up to our family in India, especially in Bangladesh, because those ladies are also in UK, in England. So big up to our sea stars who are from there. Big up to our Detroit family. I see you there. Big up to our family in Abu Dhabi. I told you I told you my girlfriends were traveling all around, and they're still in Abu Dhabi, and that's how I met the sheikh. So big up to the family in Abu Dhabi. Big up to our family in oh goodness, in Morocco. Big up. We have about 10 to 12 people that are they're actually living in the States, but a couple of them went back to Morocco, and they're actually from Morocco originally. Et parle français aussi. So Moroccans also speak French. So big up to our family in Morocco. Big up to our family in the Congo. Big up to our family in Tanzania. Big up to our family in Liberia. Big up to our family in Yemen. Big up to our family in Ethiopia. Big up to our family in South Africa. Big up to our family in Ghana, representing Ghana. You know, I have some genealogy from Ghana. Big up to our Nigerian family. You know how I feel about them. Big up to our family from Kenya. Big up to our family from the Asian, from our Asian sect, especially in China. Big up to our family in South Korea. Big up to our family in Vietnam. Big up to our family in our family in, you know, I remember I talk to everybody, so I always remember people based on when I talk to them. That's how big our family is and how vast it is. Big up to our family in Thailand. Big up to our family in Bali. Actually, we have some sea stars traveling to Bali in 2 weeks. So big up to our family. It's about 5 sea stars from our family who are traveling together from different states, and they're going to Bali together. So big up to them. I think they're going to Bali, and next year they're trying to go to Thailand. So big up to our sea stars. Baltimore's in the house. What up, Maryland? Big up to our family in let's make sure the Caribbean. You know I'm not going to miss the Caribbean family because I was just talking about them. So big up to Jamaica. Always represent. Big up to Jamaica. Big up to our family in Haiti. Big up to our DR family, Plátano City. You know I like my plátanos. Big up to our family in St. Croix, St. Thomas, St. Vincent. Especially if they've been hit by the storm. Big up to our Puerto Rican family, our Boricua family. We send an energy that way to our family. They're making sure they recover. Big up to our family in Barbados and Bermuda. Big up to our family in Bahamas. Big up to our family in Trinidad and Tobago. Big up to our family in Barbuda, who also was devastated by the storm. Big up to our family, especially in Martinique, my Martinique family, my famille. My Francophone family, they had a lot of flooding in Martinique, and Dominica was devastated as well, which is another French island, and Guadeloupe. So big up to Dominica, Guadeloupe, and Martinique. Big up to our family in Curacao. And big up to our family in Mexico. They were devastated by if you don't know, Mexico had a series of earthquakes, really bad ones. Quite a few people passed away, had transitioned because of it, and also they had a volcano eruption that killed some people in church. So please send them healing, loving vibrations to our Mexicano family. It's very devastating, and as you know, I have a target on those who are creating all kinds of weather wars on our people, especially places where they know there's a gemstone of wonderful heirloom bloodlines. So big up to our family in Mexico. Big up to our family in Panama. Big up to our family in Costa Rica. Big up to our family in Honduras. Big up to our family in Peru. Big up to our family in Guatemala. Big up to our family in Venezuela. Big up to our family in going a little further in Paraguay. Big up to our family in Brazil, especially in Bahia and Salvador. We'll be seeing you soon again. I won't blow spots. Big up to our family there. Big up to our family in Chile. Big up to our family all over. I hope big up to our Hawaiian family. I think I gave a big up to our family in Hawaii, but again, a mahalo to our family in the Big Island, also in Oahu, is also known as Honolulu, which our friend Morris is from, our family member, our sun star. Big up to our family in Maui, especially in Lahaina. I love Lahaina. It's one of my favorite towns in Maui, and big up to our family in Kauai. We gave all our shout outs. You know, we gotta get our Colombia's in the house. I'm sorry. Big up to Colombia, who's always representing in the house. What up, Shannon? Big up to our galactic family. You know, I always gotta start off with our family, of course, in our Andromedan sea stars, always representing for Fleur Brune, and many of their brethren are actually sea stars that are part of their bloodline. So big up to the Andromedans who always hold it down for Fleur Brune, making sure I survive all kinds of different attacks and stalking. They make sure I'm able to make this communication with you. So big up to the Andromedans. Big up to the Arcturians who bringing on that light sound frequency. Big up to the Antorians in house. Big up to the Syrians and the Lyrians. The Lyrians, big up to the Lyrian, the cat beings, bringing in that Leo energy, bringing in all kinds of solar eclipses. The Leos brought it in. They brought in the energies. They brought in all kinds of energies, the warlike venom. So big up to them. Big up to the Saurians. I didn't forget you, Skitslits. Big up to the Saurians. Skitslits is one of their own. Big up to y'all. Big up to the Zeta Reticulans. Big up to the Pelagians, representing always. Big up to the aquatic beings from series A, B, and C, known as the Nomos, and the Mer beings. Big up to our fairy family, the gnomes, the fairies, the pixies, all coming in full force in our realm. Big up to our family, the Anunnaki, always representing in the house. That's who they're trying to get rid of, a certain bloodline of Anunnaki up in the Caribbean. So we send protective energy to our galactic family, but we don't need to do that because they can hold their own. Big up to the Centaurians who are feeding off the war energy on this planet. And excuse me. And big up to all the other galactic beings that are here from Mother Earth. And you know what? I never give a shout out to Mother Tiamat, who hosts us on her planet, on her surface, no matter the madness on here. So big up to our family in Massachusetts. Big up to you in the house. Big up to our Mother Tiamat, Mother Gaia. We want to always give props and support and love and gratitude to our mother who hosts us, even if we're naughty and we're not being, really grateful and showing her respect. But we're going to force some respect on some of these beings, right? So anyway, hey family, how's everyone doing? I'm grateful everyone made it tonight. Ashe, ashe. So listen, you know the formula tonight. I got to give numbers out. We have a lot of people on the phone tonight, and I'm planning to make it open call. You know our topic tonight is masterful sex and metaphysics. If you don't know what it's about, you're going to find out. So we're going to have some masterful conversations about sex, tantric sex, different types of sexual spirituality, how that interrelates with your nutrition, some of the positions that are better for harnessing some of that magical energy, how to use the orgasmic energy to be able to manifest things into reality. We're going to talk about different ways that you can utilize the wands, ladies, and be able to be very masterful at how you handle the wand and how you are able to utilize the wand to also procreate and create masterful children, but not even just masterful children. If you don't want to create children, you want to create a masterful, manifest some things that you desire, and you can do that with the magic wand. And we will talk about the wonderful, masterful stargate between our legs, ladies, our yoni space, our divine, sacred space between our legs, how having an orgasm is necessity in order to utilize that energy in order to manifest. So if you're not having orgasms, we're going to make sure you try to have that tonight, okay? So let me get our phone calls, and you know I got to set it up. I got to see who's on our phone line. Everyone's checked in, okay? Oh, wow, we've got a lot of calls tonight. Wow, okay, so listen, I'm going to give you all the phone calls. You call in, push 1 if you have a question. I'm going to try to make our phone calls to 5 minutes each. You know, I'm not very masterful at this, so you guys are going to have to be patient with me. So the number to call in tonight is 515-605-9881. Listen again, 515-605-9881. If some of you don't mind putting the phone number in the section of the comment section so that other people can call in, Big up Selma. Selma's in the house. Hey, mama. So again, 515-605-9881. You push 1 if you have a question, and I will get to you. Many of you are calling me right now. You cannot call me on video. I don't know why I get all kinds of phone calls. Like TJ, who is this? TJ Walker, are you calling me or are you commenting? Hold on everyone. Okay, somebody's calling me on, I hope you're not calling me on, are you calling me, TJ? I don't know where you are. You're calling me on something. I'm seeing it showing up on my thing. Okay, so we got our family. Thank you, Jessica. Jessica put the number on FB, and someone could put the number for me on YouTube so that they know where to call about what calling you. You can call about anything. You can call and ask about, you can talk about ETs, but we're going to stay on the topic of metaphysics and sex, just because that's the topic tonight, and you're getting a little bit of a preview of Fleur Brune After Dark. Okay, so let's, sorry. I'm gonna get comfortable. I hope you have your snacks. It's gonna be a nice long night. Okay. You know what? While we get started, hold on, family. I've got everyone. So I'm gonna let people call in 515-605-9881. I'm gonna get us in the mood a little bit because it's kind of dry, and I feel like our family from Blog Talk did not get a dose. So I have to do some things here. Hold on. And I want you guys to hold on. Okay. I'm going to put some other music on just for a little minute so you guys can check in so that I can get everybody acclimated. This is one of our late night songs. Many of my FB family already knows this. You're going to hear it also YouTube, our Blog Talk and our YouTube family. So I'm going to put us a little bit in the mood. Check on in, keep checking in, get your snacks, relax. It's just going to be a minute. You can listen to some music while we have it on and pop it. I'm chopping stuff. Oh, mon Dieu. Okay. Okay, check on in. You know the song, FB.
Annie, don't wear no panties.
This is our intro song.
Annie, don't wear no panties. Ow, if you want me say Annie, don't wear no panties. It's a big thing, Santa Claus didn't bring a lot of signs and draws. Come on, say the Annie, don't wear no panties. Annie, don't wear no panties. Hey, you see it with me saying, don't wear no panties. Saw her in the bathroom stall, was there when she took 'em on. Come on, go to Annie. Don't wear no panties. Annie, don't wear no panties. Hey, you get the lady. Don't wear no panties. They was laying on the bathroom floor. They was filled with the Holy Ghost. Oh, come on, baby. Don't wear no panties. Come on, Annie. Don't wear no panties. Hey, it's been moving, baby. Don't wear no panties. So, baby, if you can't afford it, I think you need to videotape, record it. Come on, oh, don't wear no panties. Annie, don't wear no panties. Hey, come on, baby. Hey, don't wear no panties. She was sitting on the front pew, giving Deacon Johnson them a good view. Oh, don't wear no panties. Annie, don't wear no panties. Hey, the ticket to the lady. Hey, don't wear no panties. Wait, she might not have no draws, but I bet she won't forget the hot sauce. Oh, don't wear no panties. Oh, come on, wait a minute. Don't get no pain. Hey, come on, say it. Don't get no pain. Yeah, don't get no pain. Don't wear no pants. The note you meant to hear, right?
Big It's Our Family. I had to start you off with the song Annie Don't Have No Panties by Erykah Badu. You know how we get down on the show. So anyway, I'm sorry, I'm chewing some pineapple. Pineapple gets me in the mood for some sultries, either mangoes or pineapples. They didn't have any fresh mangoes, so I got some pineapples. Anyway, family, okay, here we go. So listen, we're talking about sex and metaphysics. Oh, somebody's asking for the number again. Listen, I'm going to give the number again. Please put it in the comment section for me, please. 515-605-9881. Again, 515-605-9881. If you want to call, push number 1, and if you have a question, or you could just listen. Remember, if you're calling in, you have an hour and 15 minutes to call in to be on live stream, so I can still get you. We have an hour bonus hour after that, but you want to call before so that I can get to you in the live stream, because if I'm off live stream, you can't call in. So that's the only reason you call. 515-605-9881. Let's get started, family. So, you know, our family in the Secret Squirrel group was getting a little frisky earlier. Somebody posted something about, you know, ways, you know, it was a funny, listen, I think it was meant to be a joke, but it was interesting to find out, you know, we talk about masturbation. So there was, what was the post? The post was someone stated that this man was attempting to, now listen, family, I take the children out because I'm about to go left here. And when I go left, I don't really come back. So I'm warning you to take the children out of the room. Is Blog Talk acting up? I hope not. Hold on. Can everyone, I'm hoping people on Blog Talk can hear me. Okay. Okay, anyway. So the Secret Squirrel group, somebody posted that this man had been, he attempted to masturbate. He wanted to masturbate by having anal sex with himself. So his penis, he would enter his penis through his anal cavity. I know it was a joke, but I said I would mention it tonight. Who posted that? Who was that again? Was that you, Linda? Who posted? Yeah, Linda. Did Linda post that? Yeah, about having sex with himself anally. Self-anal sex. I've never heard anything of it in my life. I'm a woman of a certain age. You know, the Secret Squirrel group goes left. I don't know who would want to do that, but apparently there's someone, you know, again, everybody. I'm sorry. Yeah, I mean, we get into formulas of sex, and, you know, a lot of times when people are realizing, you know, you've heard a lot of my videos and me talk about, people talk, somebody said it's impossible. I don't know about that. There's a lot of plausibilities. If it's plausible and it's conceivable, it's believable. Sometimes people do some odd things sexually. We were talking about, you know, sexuality as it relates to spirituality. A lot of people just equate sexuality just being something physical, very primal, no connection to spirit whatsoever. But I know differently, and I want to share the fact that sexuality in itself is quite spiritual, and it should never be engaged in without being mindful of the consequences of having sexuality with people who are not on your frequency, or again, engaging with beings who have attachments of sorts. We talk about incubus, succubus. We're going to get into it on this show and talk about that. But, you know, our sea stars, we were talking about energy and how it interrelates. Many people, I don't know if you've ever gotten involved into tantric sex. Tantric sex really gets into developing energetic wholeness within one person, and actually fielding together and exchanging a good amount of energy between two people. The issue is that most people who engage in sex, again, do it for more primal reasons and just for a release. It's almost like they're going to the toilet. And we're going to get into how to engage. We talked about masterfully picking a mate who matches your bloodline, meaning that if you're an O, you should choose a mate who's an O wise, because if you choose another mate of the subsidiaries A, B, A, then they will feed off of you, and it will be more of a vampiric relationship than one that is fielding a more balanced exchange. We also talked about, a lot of times I tell my sea stars, many of the sea stars who are not having sex, we have a lot of sea stars and sun stars who are abstaining from sex, and they think that by not having sex that I'm not sure if it's all, but some people who are not having sex even have it take issue with masturbation. Now, masturbating as a male is different than masturbating as a female, because there is a release with males of some of their life force. Every time a man has an orgasm and he releases semen, he does release some of his life force. That's why men, I'm a woman of a certain age, men who are hypersexed in their early teens, sometimes preteens, in the late 20s, 30s, and 40s, you see them, they look highly aged because they've been releasing too much of their life force and they've not retained any for themselves. Having sex that's very savage, having sex very mindlessly, or over-engaging in sex with too many different partners can be a health hazard to you. So we can get into, the screen. Okay, the screen again. The number again for those calling in, 515-605-9881. Again, 515-605-9881. So what we want to discuss is, just like the song, Annie Has No Panties, I'm talking to the sea stars here. A lot of times we're living as, thank you, Electric Goddess. Thank you for putting the number. Electric Goddess put the number up here for you on YouTube. And Jessica put it earlier on my FB family. My FB family should know the number though. Thank you, Sydney, for putting the number up again. So we were talking about Annie Has No Panties, and I know it seems like a funny song, but it really is reminiscent of how we generally should be engaging or have some sort of freedom with our body. And really, in the old patriarch and the Stoic patriarch, they made it a point to body shame women, make it a point to make women feel as if they are dirty or unsavory or unmarriageable, if they were engaged in sexual behavior that was not what men considered to be appropriate, meaning that we had sex like men. We had sex whenever we felt the attraction. We did not necessarily hold it back in order to seem chaste or seem meek or seem passive. And part of what came with the patriarch was dress code too, with the brassieres. Many of us wear brassieres that kind of put our breasts in hostage. We wear panties, which is not very holistic in the fact that the yoni space needs a lot of air to be able to, it's a stargate. It does not need to be covered all the time, nor does it need to be totally exposed. But a lot of times if we're wearing skirts, it's better to wear no panties. And if we were living in a society where women weren't violated for being free like that, it would probably happen more often. Most women don't have issues with wearing panties all the time, and brassieres. Many women actually come home, and you can actually, our sea stars can attest to this. Many of you come home the first thing you take off is your brassiere, because the brassiere is crazy restrictive, and a lot of times you feel like you're in hostage mode every time you wear a brassiere. So these are some of the dress codes that came along with the old patriarch that also energetically kept us in hostage. So let's get into aspects of sex. Okay, so chokehold. Somebody said chokehold. We chokehold those men with the bra. Remember the 60s, the women were going through this stage when they were burning the bra. That's very symbolic, because that hostage, that way of repressing the female, the divine feminine, was a way to keep us locked under, a false pretense that if we were free, that we would engage in a way that would seemingly make men see us differently, or make us a threat to society, so to speak. Corsets, of course, corsets were used for that reason as well. Corsets were something different. That's morphing, that's body morphing. Corsets were meant to mimic women, ET women that had small waists and big behinds. That's a whole nother topic. We won't get into that right now. So we go into the yoni between your legs. And I think I had this discussion on YouTube before when we talked about our sea stars, keeping your vortex, your stargate, totally clean and free of restrictions and blockages, including engaging with males whose wands bring on, have infestations of succubus and incubus, or STDs, what I like to call them, sexually transmitted diseases. And a lot of times the diseases like gonorrhea, chlamydia, all these types of quote unquote viruses or diseases are actually spirits. They're actually spirits, sexually transmitted demons that show up and manifest as viruses and diseases. When one of these parasites latches onto you, they create that virus based on them coming into your energetic field, lowering your lowering your oh my gosh, your baby on a brain. Lowering your immune system, and then making you susceptible to the STDs, the sexually transmitted demons. Yes, you're diseases, but demons and diseases are one and the same. I will tell you that. So for that reason, we talked about our sea stars. If you're going to engage with a masterful wand, you want to deem that wand worthy enough to go within your stargate. And how do you do that? You have to feel out the energy level. First of all, does he match your frequency? Some of these men are so beautiful, they're handsome, they have some beautiful, masterful looking wands, but are they integrity ridden in their actions? Do they sleep with massive amount of women? Do they have issues with self-control? You know, are they gluttonous with the yonis? You know, they just like to hoard all the yonis whenever they can get it. There are men of all different things. Are you engaged with men like that? You have to field out the magic wand, and you have to see if there's any magic in that wand. Some men walk around with wands that look absolutely divine, and meanwhile, there's nothing in it but death and deprivation. Same goes with men engaging. I don't want to just get in our sun stars. I want to get on our sea stars too. Some men are engaging with women who are hypersexed, who lack discretion in sexual partners, who are carrying around a host of sexually transmitted demons within their yoni space. And because of that, you too, our sun stars, will have to deal with having attachments to your wand. And as soon as one of these demonic beings attaches, succubus, incubus attaches to your auric field, it will make sure that all the energetic, your semen that has a load of energy, depending on your frequency, high or low, will be connected to it. And then it will take all that wonderful energy and deplete it, so that your wand, your masterful wand, will end up being like a, just like a branch off a tree with nothing in it and nothing to contribute to someone's yoni space. Okay, so we don't want to get on that nasty. Let's talk about mastering. Those are the things that we talk about, the yoni and the stargate. Those are just things you should know before engaging sexually with people. But if we know as sea stars, I'm a woman of a certain age, and obviously sex is something. I grew up in a household with Creole women that do not have a problem or issue with discussing sex. And I was so grateful to be able to master the concept of sexuality and sex before I even partook in it. So I'm grateful to my kin for allowing me to express myself and also to have self-knowledge and self-esteem with that. But that being said, when we discuss the magic wand, we have to know that the magic wand, in the way it's shaped, and it's almost as if there are chakras. I know this is going to get, I don't want to laugh because I want to get to the phone calls, but there are chakras within the magic wand. And for those engaging with the wand, again, if you're an adult, and this is conversation that we should be having, that when you understand that if there's a level of energy fields within the wand, that you should be able to engage with the wand masterfully, knowing that each point of each section of the wand has an energetic field that can be activated or deactivated or enhanced based on how you're engaged with it, whether it's orally or you're totally having just basic yoni stargate to wand sex. But knowing that's where you get into tantric levels of sex, is knowing what positions you can actually harness the best energetic flow, ebb and flow between you two. Now, some people like the wand, it depends, and also body type should be the body type of a female is made specifically for the body, for the yoni, for the for the wand type of a specific male. We tend to engage with all different types of males and females, but realize that genetically we are made to engage with specific genealogy, specific males that are built a certain way. There was one sea star who talked about a male who's had a lot of girth. This male, his penis size was about that wide, okay? He didn't have a lot of length, but he had a lot of width around him. He came from a place, I don't want to shout anything out because I don't want to blow spots, okay? So he, did someone say, yeah, his girth was, I got to keep it 1,000. His girth was, and literally, his girth was about this, okay? He had girth like that, but he wasn't that long. And the women from where he came from tend to be short with big behinds. So their span from their waist to their yoni is shorter, but their behinds were a little bigger, so that girth needed to fit through that yoni, the yoni size of that female, that type of female from where he came from, is going to be appropriate to that type of penis size, wand size of that male. Do you see what I'm saying? We're genetically made for certain males and females. We tend to go out, we tend to phase out and engage with males of different, genetics, but generally we are grafted genetically to mate with those of the same genetic makeup. Does that make sense? So, when we start engaging with males, like I've known females that are very tiny, very petite, and have, big up to our NBA family. Some of our NBA family is on here, but some of our NBA men are very, very tall and have very, very long penises, very long wands. Not all, but usually the tallness sometimes matches the length. And I've known some of the females that some of these males will engage with. The females are very, very short and very, very petite. That is not appropriate balancing between a genetic, being that's what we consider to be a hybrid giant on this planet, and someone who's little, who has very fairy type genealogy, who's very short and very tiny. That match together is a little off. So there's a lot of stress energetically when you get with beings that are not genetically made up for you. I'm just saying, that's all, we don't talk about that because a lot of people don't want to speak about that. They think it's taboo to even speak about size. And does size matter? It only matters in the realm of how much you feel with the person that you're engaged with. You know what I mean? So if you love a person and you adore them and the chemistry is beautiful, a lot of times you won't really judge someone's penis size or wand size, but because of the love and the investment and the chemistry, you kind of just feel just as sexually allured or aroused as you would with somebody who would be maybe a larger size, more applicable to the sexuality, to your yoni, but he's not someone mentally or intellectually or spiritually to your compatibility. Do you know what I mean? So we have to really play that in consideration when we're mating with people, okay? So also we have to take in consideration, I know I'm going all over the place, there are genetically modified beings on this planet, and there are people who have been genetically modified, and they have caps on their consciousness and on their sexuality. That is a fact. That is why they circumcise males at birth. That is a fact. They take away males' natural sexuality and the health and more sensitivity to their penises, their wands, from birth by taking off the foreskin. Now, if many of you don't know about the foreskin is that extra piece of skin over the penis. When the baby's born, they have it on, it's fine. And there's a reason why children or males are born with that. When you take away the foreskin, you allow the penis to be desensitized, means it becomes more desensitized based on that it's in contact with clothing and so on. The foreskin protects that penis so that it's not consistently being stimulated. Whereas when you take the foreskin on, they become more desensitized. And they did that purposefully to lessen the bond between male and female. Because if you've ever, for those sea stars and sun stars who do have their foreskin, and for those sea stars who've engaged with males, especially, only people who still don't circumcise, many of us who've dealt with males from the Caribbean, many of the Caribbean men are not circumcised. There are men from Africa, parts of Asia that are not circumcised. There is a difference in sexuality, and it's a difference of feeling when you're having sex with somebody who is uncircumcised. There are women who have preferences to men that are uncircumcised because, again, that skin pulled back does give a little more girth to the penis. And the men that are uncircumcised are heightened in sensitivity because their chakra system has not been damaged based on the fact that their foreskin is protected. They don't have to worry about their shorts rubbing against their penis, making them consistently numb. Now, I don't want to demonize anyone who has, someone said it smells. That has to do with hygiene. You're not incorrect. You're correct. Men who are uncircumcised, because when you pull back the shaft, that penis is protected, but also the scent is pheromonic, meaning that the scent inside of the foreskin does hold that pheromonic quality that does either make you more allured or it makes you non-allured. And depending on if these males are healthy and have been taught proper hygiene, which many may have not, especially if they're coming from people who've not taught them how to properly clean their wand by pulling this, foreskin back and cleaning it properly, then you have beings walking around with, like Samantha on Sex and the City would say, funky spunk, and that's something that has to be addressed as well. Hygiene, first of all, how people eat affects how their yonis and stargates taste, smell, and feel, and look. That's a fact. So many of you who are engaging with sea stars who are vegetarians or vegans, you will notice when you taste her yoni or her stargate, when you engage in fellatio, she tastes differently. She has less of a heightened smell that would come with flesh eating because she's not emitting ammonia. Ammonia comes with flesh breaking down in your system, and then that comes out of your skin. So those who are vegetarians and vegans, if any males are engaged with vegetarian vegan women, you will notice at the center of her vagina, her yoni, her stargate has a different scent. It doesn't, I'm not saying it smells, depending on her hygiene, but it smells more fruity, more natural. You get less of that ammonia, that poignant scent, that fishy kind of scent to it. It's just different depending if she's on medication. There's a lot of different factors of that. If she's on medication, it may smell differently. It depends on her hygiene. I always tell a sea star, if she's intending to have masterful sex for the first time, which I love that the Indian women did, is I drink chlorophyll. Chlorophyll is also a disinfectant, and it's a deodorizer. That's why the chlorophyll in the body makes the scent of the vagina, the yoni, the stargate smell so masterful, but it's a deodorizer. So I always tell the sea stars before they're engaging, first, if they decide that they would like a mate, and he feels him out, he's ready, you're ready, and you feel like you want to engage with him, I always say to take a couple days, drink chlorophyll, to field out your body, deodorize your body so that your scent is more appeasing, and also to steam, do a yoni steam with beautiful herbs that are for love, that are for nourishment. Also sage your yoni just in case he's bringing some STDs that you don't know about from his ex-girlfriend that was a lunatic that you didn't know and you just found out later after you had sex. So make sure you steam it with some sage. Always put some rose quartz in there, some Himalayan pink salt. You steam your yoni, and then you stand with a skirt or a towel over it, and you put incense of the whatever intention incense you want, and you stand over it. That's what the Indian women used to do back in the days. They probably still do it now. They incense their yonis, and then when he's engaging and he's going to, he's going for lunch or dinner, he will experience euphoria. And that, first taste is always the lasting taste. So you always make sure that you have that as a first engagement with your males. That's something that I tell the young sea stars who don't know. The yoni eggs are wonderful too. They clear out your yoni. They clear off any, if you all are suffering from incubus and succubus, which many are, because you're engaged with males or females that are hypersex and just mindlessly having savage sex with anyone without thinking. Yoni eggs are wonderful to take in and to hold in, like especially the obsidian egg. It clears out, it'll pull out the negativity, it will get some of that incubus out. It doesn't do all, you have to do other work like fasting, gets rid of incubuses. Incubus and succubus are parasites. All you have to do is fast, clear your yoni, and not engage sexually, they'll go away. All they want is sex. And a lot of times if you want to know if someone has an incubus or succubus on them, see their craving for sex. These are people that cannot not have sex. Their whole mindset is like having sex is almost like a feeding frenzy for them. That's a sign, that's an indication that they most likely have some sort of succubus incubus entity attached to their auric field, because the craving for that, the overt craving that's insatiable, that can never be satisfied, is coming from another being that's not human, he needs that as a food source. So that's always a sign, be mindful of that. Okay, so any questions? Let me see. I have so many different points of topics on this. I don't want to overwhelm you because I want to get to the phone calls. And we have a lot of people on the calls. We have quite a few people. So does anyone, as far as bacteria, let's see, literally a bacteria in your gut. Yeah, listen, food matters when you're engaged sexually. And like I said, you want to engage with a mate who's matching your blood type, your bloodline. That's very important because, again, if I'm engaged sexually, myself, Flurburn, I'm an OG. So I want to engage with someone whom, if I decide to have masterful sex with, they will not pull from me, but they will add to my energetic field. And what I wanted to say is that, yes, people are genetically modified, and where you have to be mindful of having sex, or you may be genetically modified. No judgment, no judgment here. You may be the one, but genetically modified people have caps on their thought of sexuality, their ability to engage with people on a very nurturing way. Now, someone who's more MK Ultra may have a cap, like they may have been MK Ultra to like people who've been tortured, children who've been tortured, sexually abused as children, to the point where they've created taboos in their system. And many people have taboos in their sexuality, but children who've been sexually abused, depending if it's same sex or opposite sex, people who've been abused by their parents, or mentally abused or physically abused by parents, will create MK Ultra type of children who become adults who have adverse sexuality. And that means it's very difficult for them to bond with others. They find it very difficult to empathize with people. And sometimes most of the children from those situations see sex as a food source or as a relief from stress, almost like a drug. Or they feel submissive to sex with the opposite. Depending on who may have molested them and how that scenario played out, they may feel subject to feeling passive, and that is a way only for someone to be with them is by giving them sex, even if that's not something that they physically desire. We've got people who have dealt with a lot of abuse, and many of our people in our population, many of our C-stars have dealt with that. And I always say it's better to heal aspects of yourself sexually before you start engaging, because triggers, people talking to you a certain way, a sexual position could be a trigger to remembering some of the abuse that you've had. And it's very important that if you're engaged with someone sexually who's been under this form of MK Ultra or has been exposed to that, that you understand that with that comes a cap on their ability to bond with you naturally. It's just what it is. It's unfortunate, and it's very sad, and it is why that our society is overrun by people having mindless sex and non-connective sex. Is because they've been abused and traumatized from children, and they're unable to, listen to me, they're unable to bond in a more natural, holistic way. And even under years of therapy, it is almost impossible to get over the hump of the trauma that occurred as young people. And these are questions you need to ask people prior to you having sex with them. I mean, if you're going to the club, bumping it, dropping it like it's hot, and then going into the house and he's, you know, hitting and missing in you, then you kind of are deserving of whatever karmic residue comes with that. Same likewise with a male. If you're engaged with a female who's been traumatized like that, chances are you don't know if she's been hypersexualized because she's been molested from youth, and she just has sex with massive amount of males, whether she discloses to you or not, and you are susceptible to getting one of her STDs, one of many of her sexual transmitted demons that she's carrying around with her. And usually you can tell if someone has it. They look tired. They look worn. Women who wear, who are very, who have that kind of hypersexualized lifestyle tend to look very worn. They age a little differently. They become dehydrated from these demonic beings. And also in the brown community, for those from, and I've noticed this more so in the recent years, is in the brown communities, there is a hybriding program. You know, we talk about a host of hybrids on the planet. Big up to the hybrids all over the planet, especially reptilian hybrids who are capped as far as behavior bonding. Reptilian males, especially the hypersexed brown male that has been bred mindlessly in the brown communities, which is unfortunately, and they have a lack of self-control. They have a lack of what is it called, like a bonding thing. They've been conditioned also by it's an MK Ultra program to not be responsible, not take care of the fiduciary responsibilities. Like, they just know to have sex, and they've been taught to mindlessly create children and not pay for them. Like, they don't see any responsibility that they have the fiduciary responsibility to care for the children based on MK Ultra that has taught them just make babies and then run away. Don't take care of them financially. Don't do anything. That's a program. That's a program that was created for MK Ultra in the hoods in the late 60s and 70s. And it came in with the drugs as well. Heroin brought that in, and that helped to solidify this type of reptilian hybrid that's been taught. And, you know, it's a program, has been taught to hit, impregnate massive amount of women, and then leave and take no responsibility. It is a type of male that's been bred. And because of that, he's been taught that. He's been conditioned for that, and that is a being that many of you should try to avoid. I'm not judging these males, but these males have been bred to be that way, to not take care of the fiduciary responsibility, to not care for their offspring. That's not natural. That's a very reptilian type of behavior, and those are bloodlines that you do not want to perpetuate. Okay, so when they brought in the drugs, it helped to imprint these type of behaviors in these type of reptilian bloodlines that are in the hoods And the lower, people don't realize there's a lot of brown people that are mixed with reptilian. You can go to the hood and see them. They have no expression of sympathy. They're very cold, very calculated, and very non-connected to their offspring. That's a breed of being. That's all that is. That's a breed of being that's created, and that's in hood. And many of you, yes, it's pathological. Yes, it's psychological as well. Yes, that does matter. But that is a conditioning program. That's a program. That's all part of the program that has created that in these particular beings that genetically have that predisposition. You know, it's all relative. So anyway, I don't want to get on that. Let's get on to something saucy. Let's start talking about having masterful sex. Now that we know what we should avoid, what are the things that we should engage in? What are the things that we should start to look forward to? So again, my sea stars. I talk to you as your stargates are the most amazing commodity on this planet, and you should absolutely engage in this realm, in our new realm, hopefully our new earth that you're going to, with such a sense of strength and fortitude and self-esteem, because you have what everybody desires, and you bring forth life, the most beautiful life between that stargate. And again, if you are not having orgasms, and this is why we were discussing that earlier, orgasms makes for manifestation of masterful things in all fields. Listen to me, sea stars and sun stars, or sea stars generally, because sea stars will not prioritize an orgasm as much as males. Many of you males with your masterful wands will go in, thrusting, pushing, grunting. Oh, you saw the light? Maybe I got too much. The light just said boom. I don't know what I can't make this up. Many of our males will go into this, knowing that they're going to have an orgasm. That is their goal. That is why they're thrusting and breathing so hard and working hard, and their motivation is to have an orgasm. Many of the sea stars, that is not the case. And many sea stars are not having orgasms, and it has nothing to do with the males. It has all to do with them. Yes, if you don't have a masterful male and you've not taught him how your body works, then that is on you, because you, sea star, have to know how to have an orgasm. And many of you are very shy. Many of you are embarrassed. Some of you just don't want to take the time to teach him because he doesn't seem teachable. But it only depreciates you, because your orgasm is something that you should and always should have when having sex. And matter of fact, every sea star, why are you having sex if you're not going to have an orgasm? And that's only to your depreciation, because as soon as you have an orgasm, your organ energy that is created from the orgasm can manifest life, and it can bring life to dreams and things that you desire out in the world. You talk about the secret. The secret didn't tell you that your orgasm could manifest a new home, a new job, a new mate, a new couch. Those are materialistic things. A new idea, a new book, a new movie idea, a new clearing your organs, healing yourself. Your orgasm can do a host of things, and you had no idea that by bypassing your orgasm and saying, oh, I can't bother, he can't do it right, or he's not pushing hard enough, or he's not touching me this way. By you doing that, you're bypassing your own gifts, and you are certainly depreciating yourself, because you're not utilizing, and you don't feel worthy enough to have an orgasm. So again, if you're not trying to have an orgasm, you shouldn't be having sex. And if you don't know how to orgasm, this is when we get into masturbation. So remember when we were doing the shield, and I told our sea stars, especially the ones who are not having sex, they're still, in their celibacy case, I was telling them to masturbate. And when you come, you have an orgasm, you when you're doing it, you claim your orgasm, meaning that you call it and you say, that is mine. Because if you don't claim your orgasm, there are beings around you that feed off of that energy, and they will take that orgasm and they utilize it for themselves. Many incubus and succubus or lower dimensional field beings stay around people in hypersex situations waiting for that orgasm to come, and they feed off of that. You can claim your orgasm verbally, mentally, and you say to yourself, that's mine, I claim it. And as you're claiming it, you put in vision your desire. Concentrated thought. I know sometimes it's very difficult, but you keep that thought in mind. And as you're bringing yourself to a masterful orgasm, you think of that, you manifest that, and bam, it comes into manifestation. The same with healing your body. And I tell you, that's something you should master, masturbating, if you are unable to have an orgasm with a male, or some of you, I don't know if you're engaged with same sex, if you're not having orgasm with other females. Generally, females having sex with other females, it's very easy to orgasm based on the fact that females know other females' bodies. So it's a little easier for a female to bring a woman to arousement than a male. And if you're with a male who has not brought you to orgasm, I would suggest you take the time to show him how you are able to bring yourself to orgasm by yourself, and have him watch, and he will see what you touch. He will see what you do. He could see when your breath gets a little shallow or a little fast, and he can see when it is that you're having an actual authentic orgasm. Nalisha says she has homework tonight. Yeah, so he watches you in your ebb of flow showing. And if you're not able and you're bashful and shy to do that in front of a mate that you're having sex who's going in between your legs, I would say you're probably not mature enough to be in a sexual relationship, because that should be nothing that should be embarrassing. If you're letting his wand, his masterful magic wand in between your stargate, you're opening your legs, the legs that you keep closed, that you put panties on, you're letting him in there, then you should be okay teaching him, showing him what it is that you desire that would bring you to an orgasm. Show him. He does not know unless you give him that answer. People treat us how we treat ourselves. And if you're not able to give yourself an orgasm, and you don't know what an orgasm is yourself, you darn sure can't be upset or disappointed at someone not knowing how you can't even bring yourself to an orgasm, or you don't even know what an orgasm is. Okay, so sea stars, I need you to practice, and don't waste your orgasms, because you don't waste your seed. When men masturbate, it's a little different. When you masturbate, you put focus on your orgasm. Before you have that, make sure you claim it. It is yours. Make sure you claim it. And when you claim your orgasm, you utilize that. Do small manifestations first. It's better to do that. And once you learn to do that, you can start to manifest bigger things. And then when you're with a masterful male, because we pull from males naturally, we're naturally vampiric because we are the original zygote. We pull from males' life force. If you are masterful, you will ask him when you are engaged with him if it's okay that you take some of his orgasmic energy, and the both of you together manifest something into fruition. If it's not a beautiful starseed, a baby, that should always be a possibility. If you should only pick a partner that you would love to have a child with. If you don't want to have a child with the person you're sleeping with, you shouldn't be sleeping with them. If you don't see them as a parent to a future child, you should not be engaged in any sexuality with them. That's a fact, because you should always know that there could possibly be a beautiful manifestation of a baby coming between the union. If that's not what you can't see her as a mother, then you shouldn't be sleeping with her. If you can't see him as a father, you certainly shouldn't be sleeping with him. I'm not saying you have to be with them for children, but if you are not sleeping with them with the intent for children, you will have an issue with them creating death, because every time sperm die in you, it does bring down your immune system, especially if you don't have that need or the propensity to want to perpetuate life. Okay, so enough about masturbation. And for males, when you masturbate, you lose your seed. And many of the gurus and men who go into like this, this is more masterful for a male to speak of, but men will talk about saving their seed or having orgasms without actually not ejaculating. there are men who actually have mastered that, that ability to be able to have, or it's not many. I don't know of any personally, but I've heard of men who are able to have an orgasm without actually releasing the semen, so they're not wasting their life force. So pulling, someone said pulling out, internal or ejaculation, mama. You're absolutely right. That's something masterful. You train yourself. You know, people do a lot of spiritual work, fasting, meditating to get to that point. And I heard it's masterful when they get to that point, but I don't know many. I don't know any personally. But of course, I've read books on that. I've read people who've actually said that they were able to do that. And I think it'd be interesting to see or speak to someone who has that capability. Anyway, so they said a try orgasm. Okay, so let's get to our phone line. You know the number, 515-605-9881. You know we're going to have our 5-minute limit. Let's see. We have quite a few callers tonight, so I'm going to start with our first callers. Please, Please, if you're calling in, share your story, ask a question. You know what our topic is tonight. There's nothing, no bars held. We can talk about sexuality in a very realistic way. You can share your experiences, how you massively have sex, or any good tips on things that would help to allow some men to maintain their lifespan, having sex a little longer. I've known of men who take a while to have an orgasm. I've known men who take a very short period of time. It all depends on them, men's consciousness and their way of being. So let's kick this off. I'm going to take in my first call. Okay, let me get comfortable here. It's going to be an interesting night. Our starseeds don't have any underwear on. No panties tonight, according to Annie. Okay, so let's take our first call. Hold on, let me change my speakers. Give me a minute. Okay. Okay, taking our first phone call. You on the line with Flurbone, 757-5055. Peace, family. Peace.
On the carbohydrate,
Hi.
the assignment.
Hello, 757-5055.
One day?
He's talking to somebody on the phone.
Oh, man.
757-5055. I can hear you. You're on the line with Flurbone.
Oh, I'm sorry, Florburn. I'm in a conversation right now. Can you? Okay. So basically, is it for 2 days, right? The carbohydrate, right? 1 day. Okay, got it. All right, I gotta go. Thank you so much. Okay. Oh wow, I'm like very You caught me at the wrong time. I didn't know how to get in at this time.
I called you at the right
my heart
time.
is like actually bumping right now because I didn't expect it.
You didn't. Hey there, who's?
Well, I had class, right?
You're at class?
Oh, I'm sorry. I had class. Yes, I just got out of class. I had a question to give her. I'm sorry. My name.
Yes.
My name is Emmanuel Rambo. I'm from Louisiana.
Emmanuel Rambo from Louisiana. What's up?
Yeah. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm well. What's going on tonight, Emmanuel?
Okay. It's great to. Yeah. I have a lot of energy right now, and actually, so many questions I would like to ask you.
Okay.
So many. But it's funny how I'm the first person you call upon, and this is actually about the topic of sex and metaphysics.
Yes.
Actually, I want to basically come out and say that for a while I've been actually trying to understand with the fact that the divine feminine is actually coming over the planet. I've been wondering, what does that put the male sexually? What do we need to learn sexually when it pertains to taming our sex? Like, actually, I guess being responsible with our sexuality? Is it based on taming our sexuality? Or, I mean, does it, what path do a male have to take in order to conserve his sexual energy and to be a proper mating for a female due to the fact that his divine femininity is actually coming with him?
Well, it's about being self-aware. The divine male, how he will benefit and how he should start to be balanced with the divine feminine is being self-aware of himself, and also being able to be balanced within the realm of the female, meaning that he no longer feels a need to suppress her. He wants to know her. He wants to, he can respect her as an equal as opposed to respecting her as his subsidiary. In the past regime, women were subsidiary to males. They were more like when you get married, you became a servant, you were more of a servant to your husband. In this new paradigm of the divine feminine, you will be able to see us as your equal, not below you, not above you, but your equal. And in that being said, you have to be self-aware, meaning that you had certain perks that you had as being a male in the patriarch that allowed you to, engage frivolously sexually without much consequence, publicly and personally. You were allowed to uphold yourself in stature in public, and without consequence to maybe having a little extra crutch in your holding your home court advantage. You know what I mean? So if you made a mistake, it was forgiven a little easier because you were a man. You weren't held to a higher standard. Whereas if a woman makes a mistake, she tends to be criticized or depreciated or she's told that how could she possibly do that? She's held at a different standard. So right now, within the divine field of feminine consciousness, you as a male will be held to a standard that is more like what we were held to a more balance, and you will be accountable for your actions as opposed to walking in with a different vantage point. You'll be able to see our vantage point because you'll be eye to eye with us in this next paradigm.
Okay. I see. So it's kind of like taking us back to the times of ancient Kemet where the woman and the man were considered equal. At one point.
Yes. But you have to be self-aware because in order to have, it's not really about equality, it's about equity. It's being self-aware. We can't be at equality because we're not all at the same level. And there's no way you can create equality, but we can have a form of equity, meaning that if you need 2 steps ahead, you can take it, but I may need 4 steps ahead, but we'll still be equal in that. You see what I mean?
Right, correct. I have to be on the same. We have to be on the same frequency in order to have that same right.
Yes, and it will be balanced. Right now, males will be humbled. You guys will be held to a different standard, a more natural standard, and that's why there's a little bit of a push and pull right now because males are not used to being accountable for their behavior, reprehensible behavior. It's not been before.
Correct.
So now males are being held to a higher standard of behavior, and it's a little uncomfortable. If you've had perks and extras because you were in home court, of course it's harder if you change another court and you're now in the home court of the divine feminine. Now you have to sit down idly and see all the advantages that you had, and you don't have them anymore. It's very humbling.
Right.
But it's beautiful.
And personally, actually, I'm. You gonna say something?
No. Go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
Yeah. Personally, I feel like that I don't have an issue with divine feminine coming onto the planet because I realize along my life it's been hard trying to have a connection with any female because I don't know if it's based on my soul, because I know I'm an old soul. It's based on me meditating, me connecting to the Creator over time. And I could actually be the type of male that could have existed, say, in the 1940s or during the time of the indigenous times where all you could do was actually just, it was easier to communicate with the other gender, vice versa, right? But now it's not like that, and that's the reason why I feel that they're that, you know how they got the saying that the good guys go behind the bad guys are more favorable. I don't know how the saying goes, right? They're more favored by women nowadays than the good guys. And I'm one of those good guys that some women pushed away. And a lot of men, a lot of young men at that, and all men, have suffered from this. And I've suffered this for my entire life.
Yeah.
For the most part. I never really had a relationship where it was women I connected with, but I know that there were older women that liked me, apparently, older women that complimented me on my handsomeness or what I brought or how I carried myself.
Yes.
But it wasn't seen from, say, women in my own generation.
Yes.
And I really want to be able to speak out for the divine male that is in my age group. Say around, I'm 24 years old, or 24 years young, if you will.
That's right. That's right.
And we've actually been suffering from this. We've been suffering from this as males, not actually getting as divine males, young divine males. I don't think we've been getting enough attention by certain females out there that could be parasitic, could be also not awakened.
Yes.
And I feel like that we've been overlooked. And that's the reason why I think it's good for the divine thing to come back, because to recognize the males like us, like myself.
I agree.
And,
you're in home court. Well, the divine male is in home court advantage because he's divine. So he's with the divine female in that.
Right.
And yes, you're correct. Women have been conditioned and MK Ultra to have a desire for males that are adverse to them. More alpha, aggressive, lower field men. And it was unfortunate, yes, the good guy ended up finishing what you considered last, but you ended up being first in the next cycle. So now you no longer will sit at the bottom, but you'll sit at the top with the divine. So be grateful you're here right now as a wonderful young divine male to enjoy the fruits of your frequency. You'll be fine, and many star seeds and many sea stars would be more than happy to keep company with you, and they would recognize you, and they would admire you, and they would be able to uphold a healthy relationship with you now, because our sea stars are learning about themselves and they're desiring better for themselves, and you would be more in alignment with a lot of our sea stars in their divine state of being. So you're fine.
Okay. That's great. That's great to know. I had this feeling, I guess sometimes you have to be told something in order to accept it.
Absolutely.
And to actually feel a little freedom behind it.
Absolutely. You're fine.
I don't want to take up the phone too much, but I have basically, I have two questions, but I wanted to ask one question.
One more.
One question that pertains to the topic.
Okay.
I remember I had a huge experience. I might as well talk about this because I had a huge Kundalini experience.
Okay.
And actually, what happened to me was I felt like my body was being taken over by an angel. But in this situation, when I activated my Kundalini, I didn't know what I was doing. What happened was, what activated it, I realized was that I had a lot of sunlight. I was in a lot of sunlight.
Yeah.
I was overseas. I was actually in the military.
Okay.
And this event was the main reason why I actually got out of the military. It was crazy. It was a crazy event. And I was meditating a lot. I was doing yoga.
Okay.
I was in a lot of sunlight. I was connecting to the cosmos big time. And I was actually fasting too. And I know you talked about that higher alkalinity is bad, and I didn't know that at the time. And I can tell you for a fact, my alkalinity was at a 10. But the question I had about the experience is that I remember I was actually it's like I was getting information from my higher being, or maybe my higher self. And I was actually just spitting out this information, and people think I'm crazy, and I don't remember everything, but I remember that my body was really warm, and I was in the hospital, and they tried to calm me down, and I had said that I love you, my children, and I said I didn't. And the thing about it, I don't have children. I don't have no children at all. But I remember saying I remember saying that I love you, my children. And every single thing, I remember everything that I said, though, that was still now had to do with prophecies, had to do with, the justice, things that were going wrong in this world.
Okay.
That need to be accounted for, and that actually things that actually harm children that were chosen, as far as indigo children, crystal children, and rainbow children. And but that one thing that I can't get out of my memory was that I love you, my children. And I don't know if it was a being that was speaking, using me as a vessel to speak this information out.
It sounds like
I remember I was listening to one of your videos, to one of your videos, right? And or your blogs, and I remember you said that there was a being that called you mama or tried to call you mother.
Yes.
And it got me thinking, like, what type of souls are we? Where are we in the cosmos? And where is our connection with past lives, or even see what the star confirmation? I just want to see if I can get some information from you about that, your perception.
Well, I think I can't really field out where that comes from. It could be a number of things. When you're sick, you tend to be susceptible. Sometimes you have walk-ins that step in at a time where maybe you were gone, where your body was, where your consciousness was kind of sort of there, but it was using your vessel and it was speaking through you. It sounded like you had a walk-in. That sounds more like it, rather than a possession. Just because it was a higher type of consciousness coming through, not so much demonic or parasitic. It sounded like it was a being who was utilizing your vessel and became aware of the world and was speaking through you. It sounded like that. I could be wrong. We can ask other people what they think of that. But it says something to your consciousness, because you tend to bring in beings to the frequency of who you are. So it makes me think that you're a higher frequency being based on you pulling in that type of walk-in, that type of spiritual angelic being coming through you. Angelic beings can't come through toxic bodies or lower conscious bodies. They cannot. They wouldn't be able to do it. Demons can, but angelics can only come through and manifest through beings who are higher in consciousness and frequency. So it sounds like you were, channeling. Martha said maybe channeling a being, a higher form being, like a being that was utilizing your vessel to project itself or to speak through you, which is awesome. And it speaks to your consciousness. It speaks to your frequency. Isn't that awesome? But I love... yes.
Yeah, I just want to say that, like, ever since I've had images in my mind of a being, if you will. I'm not sure if it's myself or if it's every day. That there's a being, copper color, you can say color.
Yeah.
Being that always appears in my mind. I'm not sure if it's me, if it's my higher self, or if it was that being.
It could be one and the same. Well, it could be one and the same. Yeah, one and the same. Your higher self, your future self, can come through your same vessel now. So you are an ancestor to a future being who could utilize your vessel to speak through. You're absolutely... The fact that you said it is most likely the case, because you're self-aware. You just said it. It's almost like Freudian slip. Like, sometimes the things we say slipping, are really the truth. Most likely it was one and the same. It was your higher self, a future self, coming through your vessel and utilizing it to speak through. And it makes sense because there's a genetic connection to that being.
Wow.
Okay. So thank you for calling, Sunstar. I'm grateful for you, for who you are, and we honor that. And please don't change. Just keep rising and upholding the light. And I really know It's a fact that you'll find a mate that matches you, who will be just as loving and integrity ridden as yourself. So if you're waiting for her, she's not far away, because there's many of them here now. Okay?
I see. Thank you so much, Laverne.
All right. Peace.
I just want, if you ever get a chance, yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. I love talking to our young sun stars. You see how wonderful and respectful, and you could feel his frequency. You could feel it, but you see another being is using his body to channel through, but it's a higher field being speaking through him. It's beautiful. All right, so let's go to our next caller. I know you guys are getting on me already. Let's get to our next caller. We've got 760-6043. You're on the line with Fleur Bruin. 760-6043. Peace, family.
Hi, Fleur Bruin. How are you?
Peace. I'm well. How are you?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Whom am I?
I'm good.
Who am I speaking with?
I was just wondering, you mentioned having sexual relationships with people who don't have a similar blood type as you can be detrimental.
Yes.
I was wondering how you'd be able to tell that you are energetically compatible with somebody. Is it more based on like your ethnicity, or is it just like a feeling you get around them, or
how could you feel it as opposed to, okay, so energetically you would know. Generally with females, we feel things a little differently. We feel things right away. So when you first meet someone, that first feeling that you get is usually the most sound feeling, meaning that if you meet the person the first time and you have a feeling in your head, that's a higher connection. If you have the feeling in the pit of your stomach, like you get butterflies, that's more of a root chakra attraction, meaning that your attraction is based in root, fight, flight, and fornication, more sexually based. But if you meet them and you have anything above that root chakra, generally that is a higher field connection, especially if you get a tingling in your head. Those are connections, those are higher angelic connections. More, you get that with the divine mate, twin flame, get the tingling in your head. But as far as blood types, if you are of a particular blood type, and I've spoken about this, and I'll make it fairly easy. Again, if you're an AB, ABs can mate with mostly everybody, but ABs should be with ABs or Bs or As. They can be with those. The only time I tell beings to be mindful is if you're O, you yourself are an O, and you're mating with those who are subsidiary bloodlines, which are AB, A, and Bs. You should stay within your negative and positive roost, meaning that if you're a negative roost, you should be staying on the alignment of negative roosts. If you're positive roost, you should stay in the alignment of positive roosts. If you are dating someone who is a AB and you're O, those ABs will feed off of the O because they're subsidiaries. The hub, the OG, is an heirloom. That's the umbrella. Everything under that, AB and A and B, would feed off of it. But if you're in the realm of ABs and Bs, you're fine. The only time there's concern is if there's an O dating someone or sleeping or having sex with someone who's a subsidiary bloodline.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Thinking about the bloodlines, I just read somewhere that if an RH negative mother gets pregnant with a man who is RH positive and the baby is RH positive, her body will actually attack it as if it's like a foreign body.
Yeah.
And that was just so crazy. Learning that was amazing.
Yes, but O positive, but
it's kind of weird. Yeah,
it is. But an O positive mother can give birth to an O negative. So that's why sexual or your sex your sex type. If you're a female, it matters who you date, because if you're a female and you're an O positive, you don't really have a concern if you get with the O negative, because you can give birth to their child. It's only when you're an O negative or a negative roost that you have concern of dating someone positive, because you most likely will not be able to hold that baby without getting a Rogaine. They have Rogaine shots. That shot that you get, they give you a shot that allows for you to sustain that pregnancy cohesively. But it's a testament that there's certain beings, that should not be mating. So yes, you should be mindful of that, but always listen to your first mind, love. Always. If you feel, I've met males who will drive my root chakra crazy. They hit that root chakra, and I feel like I could dance for days. But that's a very base relationship. That's a very chemically, sexually piloted relationship, and it's based in that lower field. But I've met men who totally touch my heart chakra, my solar plexus, and sometimes even, I've only met one who stimulated my crown. Only one stimulated my crown. I know that those males would be more appropriate for me in my higher self, in my higher Fleur-Brune realm, in my 5D body. I would do better with someone who stimulates my heart chakra and my crown chakra and my throat chakra, as opposed to somebody who's only hitting my root. I'm not saying the root is wrong, but I'm just saying that's more of a low field attraction, a base attraction.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
So enjoy.
Okay, yeah, that was really all I had
Okay.
to say. I was just wondering what your opinions were on that.
Okay. Well, enjoy masterful sex and just be mindful of who you're engaging with and enjoy yourself. I'm all about enjoyment. Enjoy yourself. I never want you to stop. I just want you to be mindful of who you're engaging with. That's it.
Okay, thank you for that.
All right. Peace, Sea Star.
Okay, bye.
See, our young sea stars and sin stars, I love them. I would never tell you not to engage in sexuality. We are here to engage and enjoy. There's no reason. All I do is make you alert and understanding that you should be more mindful of how you engage. Why not have masterful sex? Why not engage with a being that can bring you to nirvana? Have you ever had sex with someone who makes you orgasm and you start to see stars? Have you ever had someone orgasm and in the union of that you felt like your whole body was vibrating? Those are higher field forms of sexuality. That's what you need to desire, and you need to feel quantified and qualified and deserving to have that kind of sex. And when you do, that is something that you'll manifest. I'll tell you a story. Like I was attracted to this male, very, very base chakra. I'll tell you a personal story before I take the next call. And the chemistry was fire. I'm a fire sign. I'm triple Sag. Fire. Everything, he lit my body up. Every time I saw him, my whole body reacted to him, but it was mostly in my root. And he made the hairs on my arms raise up. Every time I smelled his pheromones, I wanted to mate with him like a beast. I'm serious. And I was aware. I'm self-aware. So he was just as attractive. He didn't understand. He wasn't self-aware. I'm self-aware. He's not. So we had this base attraction. And I desired him. He desired me. But when he had a chance to have that, to engage in that, he got so afraid because he's not self-aware. And he was so frightened of feeling that and not knowing what that was. Like every time he'd want to be with me, it would make him run. This has not happened just one time. Men tend to be a little more frightened because I'm okay sexually, and they feel like I have a higher standard of sexuality. I'm really quite meek and loving, and they think that by being with me, it frightens them. They don't want to disappoint me, and they don't want to feel disappointed like they can't live up to that height. And it's real. I don't really have expectations like that, but in their mind, they think I do. So this one man, I tell you, every time he would see me, he'd want me, and then anytime I'd be like, "Yay, what's up?" he would run away. It was the craziest thing in the world. And I still desired him, but I can't get with somebody who can't be down with, if you're scared of me and you have an issue with me like that, I can't. You got to move on. So anyway, let's get on to our next caller. We've got, let me make sure. We've got 720-6494. You're on the line with Fleur-Brune. Peace, family. 720-6494. Peace, family.
Hi.
Hey. Hey, sister.
Oh my goodness, I can't believe I'm talking with you.
Aw. Who am I talking to?
Oh, hi, sister. I come from a Creole background.
Ooh. I love it.
too. And we had a video that spoke about the sisters and Creoles, and it just touched me. And I was like, I need to get in contact with you.
Hello, my Creole
It
sister.
so happens that we're having this topic, and I was, wow, this is wow factor for me.
No, I love it.
I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine about twin flames.
Yes.
And I would love to have this conversation with you and
Sure.
share my story and ask this question of you.
Okay.
Just a bit about my story.
Hold
as
that
a
thought.
young girl, I know
Wait.
I had
I'm
kids.
sorry, C-Star. Hold on one moment, C-Star. I have to make an announcement. We have 1 more minute in the queue. If you're going to call in, you need to call in now, 515-605-9881. Once we get out of live stream, you can't call in. You can just listen. So listen to me, 515-605-9881. You have 90 seconds to call in. After this, we go into our extra bonus hour afterwards, but this will be the only time that you can call in. 515-605-9881. You have less than 60 seconds to call in. Okay, I'm sorry, Steve. Sorry, I just had to make that announcement.
No worries. No worries. So my story began when I was a young girl, about 7 years old, and I
60
told my mom and my
seconds.
grandma that I was gonna have a husband who had green eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And this just came out of the blue, okay? I just felt it in my being. And I was 7 years old.
Yes.
And years went by. My high school year, I met my twin flame.
Aww.
And he and I saw each other as we walked down the hallway, our high school hallway, and he actually I caught his eye before he caught mine. And what drew me to him was the fact that he had green
10
eyes.
seconds.
And it was just like I had known him for eons.
Wow.
That he was a part of me. And just to make a long story short, he and I, we were young. We gave up our virginity. We lost our virginity together.
Aww. I love it.
And now, mind you, fast forward. Now I've been having synchronicities about him. We've been bumping into each other for decades now. And he worked. I found out that he worked a block away from my home. I never knew until my daughter had to do business at a facility that he managed, and we bumped into each other then, and it was like 2007, and it was that same spark that we had when we bumped into each other in high school.
Mm-hmm.
Now, fast forward to 2015, we bumped into each other again, and this has been going on. We've met. He's a runner, because we get to a point where I think everything is fine.
Yeah.
But then he just disappears. But we have intercourse in the ethereal. I felt him.
Yes.
And he just, I can't put words to this, and I feel like I'm going crazy. It's like, I know I'm not a stalker. I know I'm not this. This man does not, I can't get him off my mind.
Oh.
And a friend told me about twin flames, and she shared with that, and I had feelings about, I've done my research as well. Mm-hmm. And I just want to, mind you, he's doing his life, I'm doing mine. He's got a family, and I'm not a
homewrecker.
Aw.
I've had, I've had a husband and an ex, and now I'm single. I have been celibate, and I'm not ashamed to say this, for 15 years.
Aw.
I can't
Wow.
seem to get him off my mind.
Aw.
And it's like I can't be with anybody else.
I understand. That's very Creole. That's very Creole women. That's a very Creole thing. Creole women love deep in their soul. It's very Creole of you. I think.
And he's Creole as well.
Oh, I love it. I like that combination. I never had that. It sounds like it sounds more to me like a soulmate. It sounds like this is your soulmate. That you came in many incarnations. That's why you recognized him. You knew how he was coming. You probably had a discussion before one of you passed away of how they would come back. So you had a self-awareness. You actually had awareness of what he would look like. Soulmates do that. And generally the fact of the matter is you recognize him. You knew you were waiting for him to come back from the other life. So you've probably spent several lifetimes together. You've known each other for, yes, eons. And you still have that solidified love and dedication to one another. When I feel like, though you love him, I want you to try to, soulmates don't make it. Twin flames. I don't know so much that this is a twin flame, to be honest. It could be. It sounds more like a soulmate because twin souls cannot be apart. But you're feeling that way, and he could be feeling that way too. I would have to talk to him. If he had that same, you're having sex in the ether, so it means he's desiring you as well, just as much as you him. I would just say it's kind of torture. You remind me a little bit of how Edgar Casey had met his twin soul while he was married. Do you know this story? Edgar Casey had the girl who came to work at his facility was his twin soul, and she came to a facility working with himself and his wife. So it was very awkward because he found out that this was his twin flame, and he could never really truly be with her because his wife was always there. You know what I mean? It was an awkward moment. He loved his wife, but the twin soul was his mate. So it was like, he asked if he should be with his twin mate flame, and Source said no. It's not this time. It's not right for this time in this lifetime. So I would say, because you have such an adoration for this man and a love, I still want you. 15 years is a long time to be without. Can I ask your age, if you don't mind? I'm a woman of a certain age. Are you?
I don't mind. I'm going to be the big 50.
Oh, you're 50's young, honey. Okay.
And the funny thing about it.
Yeah.
And then the funny thing about it is, we share the same birth date.
What?
But we have the same birth date. So he was born on the 27th. I was born on the 27th. But we were born in different months. It's just the opposite. Mine is 01 because I was January, and his is October.
He did that purposefully. You guys planned it. Yeah, you planned this from another life. You were really close. You planned this. That's when souls come back with plans. You came back purposefully to make sure you knew each other and recognized each other. That's interesting. Yeah, I hear about that, but I'd never talked to someone who did that. You both did that.
And I just don't know what to do with this. This is what I'm
Have you seen him?
I don't know what I've come to the point where I'm okay. I'm doing a lot of meditation. I'm healing within myself because I've been on the planet for almost half of this. Right? So,
yeah, I understand.
So, I've done a lot of healing and just getting to know myself and just, and getting more in tune with the universe, my higher self. The speaker that was on earlier that spoke about he felt like he had a conversation with his future self.
Yeah.
That's what it was like, that resonated for me because I was like, when I was 7 years old, that's how I felt. I felt like I was having a conversation with my higher self, and my higher self was explaining to me how my husband was going to have green eyes, and
was explained, and then I shared this with my grandma and my mom, and then as an adult, when I was an adult, I shared that story with my mom again.
Mm-hmm.
My grandma had since passed on.
Sorry.
And she says, I remember when you told me when you were 7 years old.
This might very well be. No, I may be wrong.
And I do want to mention this.
Yeah.
Huh?
I might be wrong. That sounds like a twin flame. Yeah, that's something this is something different. This sounds like a twin flame now. All these coincidences and synchronicities, that's twin flame. Those are twin flame type of things.
I just don't know what to do with it.
Well,
and
have you talked to him?
Well, my friend, he ghosted me now. It was like he ran. And this is so interesting because the last time we had our conversation, it was so heartwarming. He was, it was like, he mentioned to me, he says, eventually you and I will, what was his statement? Eventually you and I will get together and catch up. But mind you, he's got a family, and I recognize that, and maybe, the conversation was had, and he stepped back and said, I have to live in reality. I have a responsibility because he's an awesome man. He's such a good man, and
Yeah.
I want the best for him and his family.
Aww,
I don't
that's
want to
beautiful.
intervene with anything.
No, not
I
at
just
all.
want the best for him and his family.
Yes, but you need to.
I
But
trust
also.
him unconditionally.
But also, at the same point, you need to live a life too. Yeah, this is like one of those stories.
Yeah.
We're going into the divine field, and we no longer have to sit in sadness because we can't have our mate anymore. You're a 50-year-old young woman who still has a bit of sexuality still in her, and you deserve, just like he deserves to be happy, you deserve to be just as happy. And if by all means you can't be with your twin flame, I will give you a Creole, my 100-year-old grandmother who's turning 101 in December, who would tell me in French, she would say, of course, you may not be with the one that you love, but you can be with the next runner-up. Do you understand? Because if you cannot be with him, you should not live in misery. You should live with a companion. You're beautiful. I love your frequency. Any man would be just grateful to be with you. You sound like you'd be a great mate. So, yeah, he's your mate and you love him, and that will never leave. It sounds like you're twin souls, twin mates. And have sex with him in the ether. At least you get you can have him spiritually, and start to put yourself in a position where you can meet men who are just as balanced with you, so that you can help, because it will help you. If you're still pining over him, it's very hard if you don't have a distraction. You do need someone to have companionship with. You would benefit from that. And some sex. And some sex.
That's what my girlfriend said. She said, girl, you need to get some.
Need some sex. You need to get yourself, I don't want to sound like, a woman of a certain age, but you need to get with somebody a little bit younger who can distract you a little bit. You know what I'm saying? He will take the cobwebs off of your yoni space, and he will bring magic back from his wand. You need to let him in and let the magic wand do its work, honey. I tell you to get out there. I'm telling you, listen to your girlfriend. You go out for the weekend. You go out looking just as beautiful as you probably always do, and be open. I want you to just be more receptive. That's it. I'm not telling you to do anything that would make you feel uncomfortable. Be receptive. I need you to just like he wants you to be happy too. If he loves you and he cares for you, he would want just the same as you say for him. And it's okay to love somebody and not be with them. Just knowing that you love him and you've had, listen, not everybody has had the luxury of being able to meet someone, a soulmate or a divine mate like that. You've had the chance to meet that, to taste that, to experience that. That you should be grateful for. That the two of you decided to do this in this lifetime. But by all means, why should you spend another half a century not having fun? You're a beautiful live spirit. Have some good sex. Have some masterful sex. Get yourself a younger wand and enjoy yourself. And then if something turns around and maybe later on in life you two may come together and just be able to sit down and have wonderful conversation. But why not enjoy the ride? I mean, come on. Enjoy it. You know I'm gonna tell you to do it.
Well, thank you so much.
I love you. Have
Thank
fun.
you so
And
much.
I hope the next time we talk that I hear you were dropping it like it's hot and enjoying yourself, okay?
Okay.
I love you, sister.
Bye.
Peace. That's what I'm saying. I love our women of a certain age, but you see this? The old patriarch will have a woman sitting home pining. It's okay that she's had that kind of love. I love that she met her divine mate. But you know what? He's living his life. You see that? The male is living his life. He's not sacrificing himself. He's not sitting home waiting and pining. No, he's not. But you know what? She can love him from a distance and still enjoy herself. There's nothing wrong with that. I tell you all the time, I have a man that I've loved. I still love him. I love him. We can't be together. I love him more than anything. He's in my soul. He will never be out of it. But we're not good together. So I accept that, but I know that I want to be with a partner who can be there in ways that are more masterful, that can be there and I can travel with, that that I can make, that we can do things together and be more balanced. But I do have a mate that I've had in the previous that I've loved, and the love is still there and it does not go away. It's fire. But I know that that's not good for me, and I'm able to move forward and still hold that love. There's nothing wrong with loving somebody, and you don't have to be with them. Just acknowledge it and keep it moving. You know what I mean? So anyway, I see one of the young ladies giving me area codes here, so I'm going to look for the 717. Somebody said they are on 717. See, you got your wish, because all I saw was 717 in the phone call, and I only see 1717, so I hope this is you, whoever this is, okay? So taking 717-9938. You got your wish. Peace, family. 717-9938.
Oh, wait, hold on.
Peace. Who's this?
Oh, snap. I didn't even hit one. Hello?
Hey, peace.
Hi.
Hi.
It's New Age Rebel.
Hey, New Age Rebel.
I didn't realize I'd be on live.
I saw seven.
That's fantastic.
Did you
Hey,
not?
how you doing?
Good. I saw 717 on the screen. Weren't you asking? Were you asking to be picked up?
Oh, I was not, but I definitely will ask a question.
Oh, sure.
That's interesting.
That is. There must be another one. So what's going on, Sea Star? What do you want to talk about? Masterful sex? Are you having masterful sex? Do you want masterful?
Oh yeah, basically.
Are you? Wait, you said you're having.
It was actually pretty recently.
Oh.
This is so interesting.
Oh, would you like to share with us? You know, we have some very interested people.
Yeah, no, oh my gosh.
Share. Please share with us your experience.
11/11 just passed, and suddenly I'm on the line.
Ah, this is
well, just to give a little rundown of myself is just my life path number in numerology just happens to be 11.
Ah, interesting. And you just that's a very masterful number to have as your life path number.
Yeah, I'm a Virgo, Scorpio rising, and Capricorn moon sign. So anyway, talk about masterful sex for a second.
Oh, yes. Yes. So this mate that you found, was this someone that you knew? Did you just meet them? How did you meet them? What did you feel when you first met them?
No, I met this person like quite a while ago. Like I'm gonna say 7-8 years ago.
Okay.
And the first time we really met was it was instantly magnetic.
Okay.
Like just we didn't even try. We never really tried. You know what I mean? Like we would just stare at each other, and then we both just feel this connection. Which is, it's just so ironic that I happen to the lady you were just talking to. She said that her and her twin flame both have the same date of birthdays.
Yes.
And me and my current boyfriend, we both have the same birth date as well. Just he's in August and I'm in September.
What? Is this like the new thing? I'm going to take this. I'm going to write this down. This is interesting. This is a mark to something. We got to figure that out. Okay. I like this.
What's also interesting is that also happens to be in 11 as well, because his birthday is August 1st and mine is September 1st, and those two ones, 11. Great.
Oh, my. Wow.
So many 11s.
This is interesting. Synchronicity. This is
Yeah.
crazy.
So now I realize, that he's my twin flame.
No,
But now I realize that I've also found my soulmate.
what?
But
I
the
love it.
timeline is all jacked up.
Okay. So
Timeline is so jacked up. Okay,
tell me more.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you knew him a couple years ago. You didn't. Okay, tell me, how did it get to this? How did it get to now?
Okay, the soulmate. I met him. He was the one I met 7 years ago.
Okay.
And we had gone years without speaking because we didn't even really talk then, but we just instantly felt that magnetic connection.
Okay.
So recently, because we both make music, we ended up in a project together. And the entire room just lit up, you know what I mean, with heat. Like there was nothing we could do to stop it.
That's
you know what I
twin
mean?
flames. Twin flames do that. Yeah, they heat up a room.
Yeah, so-
Yes, honey. That's why they call it twin flames. You're speaking. I love this. I need everyone to
How
hear
many
this.
twin flames do you have?
I love this.
Wow, this is insane. Anyway, so yeah, every time, but we don't even try. We're trying to stay away from each other because we both have our own situations going on. But every time, somebody's always complaining about the energy that we're giving off.
Yes. Yes, this is
And
twin
it's completely
flames.
by accident.
No, it's purposeful. Twin flames are supposed to get together. They blow up grids. They blow out grids. This is what they don't want. This is interesting. This is the second person talking about a twin flame. Okay, so you blow up the room. So what happened? How did you get to the masterful sex? What happened? Did just one night making music together, beats hitting?
Yeah.
Oh. Go ahead.
Okay. All right.
This is wonderful.
You kill me right now.
This is better than Harlequins.
No. Okay, so I'm leading up to it. This is so great. We tripped on acid.
Ooh, they did
One
an acid
time.
trip. Oh.
And what we did was we basically just connected on the acid. We didn't touch each other. We just connected on the acid and we dove into each other's eyes because we just kept eye contact for like the longest time. And we saw each other throughout the timeline, like for centuries and centuries and centuries.
Oh.
Crazy.
Oh, snap. I'm not encouraging I'm not
Let's
encouraging.
talk about Masterful One.
What? So they tripped on acid. They're seeing each other through the different timelines. They're tripping out, seeing their interconnection through their eyes. This is like some Barbarella story. If you ever watch Barbarella, it's like some Barbarella story. Go ahead. This is wonderful. Go ahead. I'm entrenched now.
Okay.
You got to keep going.
All right, so when we tripped on acid, I'm going to say that was about 4 months ago, right? So then, like maybe, I'm going to say last month or 2 months ago, we finally engaged, like just to see.
Yes.
And man,
Oh. Yes.
the ocean runs deep.
Oh.
I didn't know the
Oh.
level of things that happened. I didn't realize. I didn't know I'm capable of doing these things, and he's the only person that I've ever met to bring it out of me.
Oh.
But the water never stopped flowing.
Oh. She said she's an overflowing water. She's a waterfall. Oh, wow. I'm getting hot.
It was Niagara.
Oh.
For like the longest time.
Oh, it's Niagara Falls. Oh, I love this. Oh my God. Let me cool off. I need a fan for this one. So you just started having like incredible sex. It seemed like, you had sex with him before? Did it seem like this is something that you've done previously? Like you were reenacting like a 1920s scene that you did in a previous lifetime? Like what was this about?
Yes.
Was it like that?
Yes, it felt so familiar. It felt so
Past life
familiar.
sex. That's a past life sex.
He just knew how to read me.
Wow.
And every time, like I ask him, I'm like, how do you do this? How is this happening?
Oh, this is beautiful. Oh my God. This is like, you had the feeling, the fire and the flames were there. You then decided to taste the rainbow, and it was everything, the waterfall came with the rainbow. Wait.
I tasted music. I could smell colors.
What? She tasted music and she could smell colors.
Oh my
This is
God.
the masterful sex we're talking about. Take notes, everyone. Take notes. This is what we're talking about. This is the masterful sex. She could taste the notes, and she could. What did you say? Taste the music and taste and the colors. You could smell the colors.
And I could see, like, I could see emotion.
Oh, this is otherworldly sex. This
It was so
is
crazy.
this is 5D sex. Oh, this is what I'm talking about. Take notes, everyone.
This was the 5. Yes.
Nice.
This was the 5D sex that made
Beautiful.
that made my lips tingle, and
Oh.
like I had this so much, face went numb, waterfalls.
Oh, she was wet.
I didn't know it was possible for a man to come that many times.
Oh, so he was multiple orgasms. This is a twin flame. Multiple orgasms come with twin flame.
Yes.
Take notes. He was having multiple orgasms?
Mutual multiple orgasms.
Gratitude. Oh, hail. Wait, let me hail. Hail, starseeds. Hail. This is what I'm talking about. Masterful sex. If you don't know, now you know. So, okay, so now you've had waterfalls, you've tasted notes, you've seen color, what did you smell colors? You actually were seeing all the. Now, what happened afterwards? How did you feel afterwards? Like, what was the feeling? Were you scared? Like, what the heck is this? I don't know what this is. Or were you like?
No, not at all.
So what happened?
No, there was no fear whatsoever.
No
I don't
fear.
know. It went back to just casual, like, friendship. Like, we just were cool.
What?
It was like, okay, we did it.
Yes.
And then we were just like, all right, that's awesome. Let's do this again sometime. You know, kind of that thing. It wasn't like we were scared of each other. We honestly, we connect on a mental level. Like, we can still talk about anything, and we don't have to indulge in sex. You know what I mean?
That's actually very, very seasoned of you. You're a young sea star, and that's very seasoned in disposition. That's what some of the more veteran sea stars do. You have an old
but the
soul.
thing is that he's even younger than I am.
These are so you guys are old souls coming in. Well, these are you. What year were you born, sweetheart? What year?
I was born in 1990.
Okay, we've got some star seeds here. You're probably a crystal. You could be an indigo. The same. You have the disposition.
I've often felt like an indigo. So
yeah.
when we trip, you know how you can see auras sometimes. We were encased in like this blue type of aura.
We have indigos.
With
Okay.
each other.
Beautiful. So we have indigos coming in. That's why I say you're acting a little more old school. But again, the indigos, you are older souls than chronologically. You're older than those who are conceived or perceived older in the Matrix. So it's someone who you trump the age of somebody who appears to be like the 80 or 60 because chronologically you're an older soul coming in a younger body. You've just come in during this age of transition. Beautiful, the both of you. I love this. Sea Star, you just blew the socks off of everybody. You talked about masterful sex, interdimensional viewpoints. You were looking through the different realms and timelines that you both existed in past lives. Then you had masterful sex, where you were actually having Arcturian type of. The fact that you're musicians makes me think that you're probably Arcturian contactees, or Arcturian hybrids.
Yeah, no, I often.
See?
I often try to contact the Arcturians, and every time, like, I end up in this. When I meditate, I end up in this purple type of blue.
That's Arcturians.
Indigo shell.
Yep, that's Arcturians.
And I see these glitter beings.
Yep.
Yeah, I see these glitter beings, and they're just standing around.
That's your people. That's your people. The Arcturians. You can always tell the Arcturians, they're artists and so on. But when you said that, you had that field on you. Arcturian contactees. I love this, Sea Star. I love that I share a paradigm with someone like you and your friend. Thank you for being. I'm grateful for your presence.
I'm so excited that you're excited for me.
I am. I'm excited.
I'm grateful that you're grateful for my presence.
I am. I am highly grateful for your presence. This conversation has just blown the socks off of our entire consciousness. You gave us a level to obtain. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And the fact of the matter is, you're not owned by your experience. You're not hoarding it. You're not trying to hold it and keep it to yourselves. You experienced it. You allowed yourselves to experience that level of love and conscience and holistic consciousness. And you can just be okay with that. It's you enjoyed it, you were that, and it is. That's it. I love that. And you're still engaged in talking with each other, holding friendship. You still have camaraderie. This is what most want to master, is what you encountered. Thank you. Thank you. It's beautiful. I don't even know if we can have a show after this. This
That's the experience.
this
no,
is.
I often do like resonate with the symbols and things that are related to the Arcturian like starship. But I've even like researched it myself because I went through this stuff. I'm also a military brat. I've never lived anywhere long. I'm usually the new kid. So yeah, I mostly knew
Yes.
that I resonate with the Arcturians. So yeah.
Beautiful. So
But
you are
the
one
whole
of
masterful
theirs.
thing
What you should start to
just
do now.
managed to happen.
Well, because you're one of theirs, you're in contact with you. It sounds like you're already in contact with them. What you can do is start to bring in more light frequency. You're already doing it, and that's why you were able to bring in that being with you, and you guys find each other so easily. But what I would start to do is utilize some more of that light and tone and light and sound frequency, and start to manifest more of whatever you desire. Because as being one of the hybrids of the Arcturians, you have especially in this new paradigm where light and sound frequency are being utilized as the main source of interception that we're experiencing. Now that we're 4D and above, it's all light and sound frequency. So you're right in that cusp of being able to utilize those type of modalities to be able to manifest whatever you desire. Mm-hmm. So start to work with light and sound frequency, change your room.
Very comforting to hear you say that.
Why? Tell me why.
Most of the time I was very uncertain about it. So like to hear you say it, it's like, a perspective outside of myself to just confirm what I've been. Absolutely. Yeah.
It's beautiful. I love this. Well, I hope that thank you for sharing this experience with us. You've exceeded my expectation of masterful sex, as far as having it interconnectively with a divine mate or a twin, which is even more masterful as having it with a twin flame, which is exciting. And it's interesting, twin flames, now we know that twin flames, sometimes it can be a situation like with the last caller, the other twin flame may be a little afraid of that, a little apprehensive. This one engaged with you and enjoyed it and he also had that same kind of eclectic feeling. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was very free.
I love it. Well, still engage. I mean, please share with us if you have any more masterful sex. And if you have any tips for the sea stars as far as having waterfalls, share with them, what positions, what things that you did. It does depend on the partner, but I think it's very important. The wetness does matter. Most people don't give as much credence to being wet. I always tell sea stars, someone asks me, how come I'm not getting wet? It's because you're not attracted to your mate. Unless you're on medication or something like that. But that's usually a soundboard for you not being attracted to the person that you're with. So I love you, Sea Star. Keep doing what you're doing.
It had never happened before, but it was amazing. I love you too.
I love it. And keep you Arcturian hybrid you. I love it. Tell your people we said hi, and tell them to bring on that light sound frequency to get rid of some of these harp systems. Tell your people we need them to help out. All right? All right. Peace, Sea Star.
Peace.
Oh, I love this. Did you hear this? Masterful sex. Tasting the music. But these are Arcturians. See, indigos. It's a little unfair to talk about sex because she's an indigo and he's an indigo. The indigos having sex, starseed sex. Listen to that. It's beautiful. That's what all desires. Masterful. oh, fabulous. Wait, what'd you say? Maximus, what'd you say? Maximus said he's made people explode without touching them. I like that, Maxima. That means your energetic field is really high. Anyway, I'm getting a little too excited from this last phone call. I love that. I am such a fan of those having healthy, eclectic sex. Now, I don't condone the drug. They're tripping on acid. That was something they did. These young people do different things, there's mushrooms. They're doing these things. But do you see how they were able to pierce through and see each other in different timelines? That was so deep. That was deep. Don't do it. Don't do it for those, okay? So Let me take another phone call. I see you, Cadillac 206. All right, Cadillac. So let me take my next phone call. I see you. I think this is you, Cadillac 206-0257. You're on the line with Fleur Brune. Peace, family. 206-0257. Is that you, Cadillac?
Yes, that is. What's going on?
Peace, C-Star. What's good? What's good? See? I listen to you.
Nothing much. Thank you. I was like, I hope no one's getting mad, but this isn't about masterful sex, unfortunately. But it's about, I guess, in a way, people who don't think that you can have a connection with someone from long distance. I'll say that. I'll just tell a little story and then
yes, please.
maybe see if it's like not in my head or not. So long story short, I met a guy when I was 11 and he was 9. And when we first met each other, it was instant connection. And, you know, we just had this instant connection and it was always there. It was like when we would talk to each other, we would be saying a different conversation, but we'll be reading something different from each other. So that's how I knew it was something deep.
Yeah.
Then he ended up moving out of the country, or not in the country, he moved out of state, and I was just so sad. I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even tell him how I felt, and blah, 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 you know.
Yeah.
And then like a week later, he called my phone back when we had landlines, and I was all like, who is this? And he told me it was him, and I was like, oh my gosh, how did you find my number? And he's like, I just saw my mom's phone and found it, and I wanted to talk to you. Long story short, we started to date, and it was long distance, but we never ended up seeing each other, but till this day, we broke up and all that. But like, till this day, I've never had a connection with someone as deep as that. Like, I'm over him, and and he ended up going a bad route in his life. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He ended up getting very addicted to drugs, so it's like I can only expect with so much from someone who their mind has been altered. But like, throughout, this was 17 years ago, but throughout those 17 years, he's always found a way to get back in contact with me. Like, we can speak for 2 years or something, and then he'll randomly call me. And it's because his mom really likes my family, so I mostly kept in touch with her because he was always, you know, he's like a rolling stone. He was always on the move, so I never really heard from him. But his mom and I always kept in contact.
Good.
And he would just end up finding my number in his mom's phone or whatever. He'll always call me every so often, or I'll call his house, and he'll happen to walk in from like months of not being at that house, and they'll be like, oh, he's right here if you want to talk to him, and we'll talk. And it's like, we'll talk. Like, it was like when we would talk, we're saying something totally different than what we're actually saying. Like, I was like, oh, how have you been? And, you know, this and that. And he's answering those questions, but it's like underlining it. It's like, I've never met a girl as amazing as you, and you're the one who I wish I could be with, but my life went this kind of route. Like, it was always like the underlining feeling I could feel under it.
Yeah.
But like, when we would get in contact, it was like the older I got, the more intense the feelings became. So like, it would be every feeling would get magnified. It didn't matter which one it was. It would be the happiness, the lust, the anger, the, you know, whatever one. It would get so intense that we will always end up like not kind of lashing out, but we would get to a point where like we'll get in an argument or something, and then we won't talk again for like 6 months, a year, or whatever.
Yeah.
And it would do that all the time. But like the older I got, it was just a little unbearable for me, and I ended up finally telling him that, and he just didn't really understand. And I was like, I was like, maybe it's in my head, but every time I talk to you and I haven't heard from you in a long time, you just mess with every emotion for me, and it gets ridiculously overwhelming, and I have to end connecting with you. And he was just like, sorry you feel that way. I don't know why, but I don't know what it is that makes you feel that way about me. And like, I'm just kind of going all over the place. So I'm trying to say a lot in a little bit.
No,
of
you're
time.
saying it perfectly.
And then another thing, is I thought it was, like I said, I know a lot of people who are long distance relationships, they think if they don't have that physical touch, it's not going to work. And I mean, we were together for 3 years, amazingly, but every time he would just like say my name, or like his voice would go to a certain tone, it was like my whole body would just enhance in like a type of passion and sexuality that I've never felt in front of me, or someone who could actually just touch me. Like, it would just be the sound of his voice that would just take me there.
Yeah.
And I would tell him that, and he would just be like, I'm not even doing anything. I was like, I know you don't even have to do much, but you just doing that, it just in my head, I know if we was to ever have had sex, I knew it would have been amazing. Like, I did ever even second guess it. And it just, you know, it's unfortunate because we ended up breaking ties, and I had to, let him go, and like you said, love him from a distance kind of thing, because, our lives took different paths. But I just wanted to tell you that because I wanted to understand what kind of connection that was. Like, we didn't have the best relationship or anything like that, but he always called me when he needed something. He always told me, you're the only one who would ever understand me. And he always felt bad that his life went the way it did because he knew that he wasn't good enough for me. And we would have those conversations all the time. And I would be like, it's not that. I would say, I just feel for you. It was like, you don't have to look a certain way or be a certain way. We were total opposites as far as, like, the way we look. Like, I'm like I'm a soul, R&B, hip-hop. He was like rock and roll. He liked that kind of stuff. But he always thought, like, I could never match up to you. And I'm like, it doesn't matter. I'm like, what I feel is why I'm with you, And I just didn't understand, or I couldn't really understand that type of connection that we had. And I went into my astrology. I did like an astrology, because I don't know how to explain it, but like a natal chart thing between me and him. And we said that we had a Mars conjunct Venus. And it said that those connections are very heightened in emotion to where it will cause two people to randomly hug in a room if the energy was in the same room with each other. But it did cause overwhelming, intense feelings of all categories. And I was like, oh my God, I felt that. So I knew it wasn't in my head anymore. But like, I did feel feelings for him in the root chakra, but overall, it was always my entire body. It was never just focused on the root chakra. It was just like the entire thing would just light up, just talking to him, And I just wanted to know, like, what did you think about that from your, like, point of view, or
like,
you know what I mean? Like, just something that I thought I'd tell you.
Yeah, no, China even said it. It's a karmic relationship. That's a being you've had another lifetime with. Mm-hmm. He accumulated negative karma. You did not as much. So he had to pay for the piper in this lifetime. And it's unfortunate when you have two beings that love each other but are on very different spiritual paths. So you made a decision to meet each other, but he could not tamper. He was not allowed to tamper with your vibration because obviously you're one of our family members. You're on a higher, you're on a higher level of frequency, and you're on that ascension path. He has a lot of karmic debt, drug addiction, dealing with things, hardship, and hood-like behavior. That's all karmic debt. Usually you're paying debt from a previous life. Probably you may have even been husband and wife, love each other, but in this life he has to pay the piper, and you're just having a hard time because he has to pay for something and you have to sit idly and watch him and not be able to be with him. But let him pay what he's paid, and in the next lifetime you'll probably spend a lifetime together in bliss. You know what I mean? You pay your debts, and then the next life he'll be clean and clear, hopefully clean and clear. He learned his spiritual lessons, and maybe and also the fact that you can connect to him so strongly in this world, I would try to connect with him in the ether, just like the young lady who was having sex with her mate. She couldn't be with him because he was married, but she was having sexual relations with him in the ether. I think that's free and clear. I've had, it's just as tangible, if not better. Why not try to connect with him? Call him when you're up, or when you're astral planing, call him, and he's clean there. Remember, when he's in the astral plane and he's in the ether, that's his pure essence. He's not going to be the addict or the hustler or the lower field being he is in this realm. He will be the higher self that you recognize, your soul recognizes. So why not try to connect with him there too, if you miss him still? Because I think, you have a very strong bond with him.
I don't want to say the words like I don't miss him. Like I'll always, I'll love him forever. But I just I'm just content with understanding that, like you said, our paths are different, and I can't stay and hope and want something from someone that is in that kind of path,
I
And
understand.
it's not judging, but it's just, I came to terms with that, and I just wanted to move from it. But I figured it was a karmic relationship. I did like a ton of research on it, but I just wanted to make sure like the intensity that I would feel from someone who's 2,000 miles away wasn't, all in my head kind of thing. You know what I mean?
That's love. That's a connection. You had a connection with him. It doesn't matter how many miles away. When you have a bond with someone, a spiritual bond or a karmic bond, or it sounded like you guys know each other from previous lives. That doesn't go away, and distance doesn't matter. He could be thousands of miles away, it would still be the same connection. You feel it in your soul. You were feeling that connection in your soul. He did too.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you guys always made it a point to contact each other. And that's why when he ever came home, it just magically, synchronistically, your number would come up, or his family, his mom would give him the number. It was meant for you to kind of, you said, you probably made a higher agreement. Listen, I'm going to miss you terribly in this life. I know you got to pay for your debt, but please, let's keep in contact so we can at least meet each other or talk to each other while you're going through this in this life. You probably made that agreement so that you could at least have that connection. I think it's beautiful, though. You know, it's beautiful to have met a being that you have that connection with. It's unfortunate that you can't be with them in the way you want to be with them, though.
I know, that's probably the only thing. Like I said, you know, you look at it and you know, we've made our agreements, and at least for me, I had to accept it. He accepted it too. He told me, he was like, you know, someone like me ain't good for you.
Aww.
And we just had to accept it for what it was. But he understood, and I just thought I'd share the story with
That's
people.
beautiful.
I know a lot of people think, well, they're moving away.
I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful. I think, like I said, you don't have to necessarily touch somebody to have a connection with them. You don't have to live next to somebody to have a connection with them. Sounds like you had a higher connection with them, and I think it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful, and I think I wish you well. And you never know. Aren't you? How old are you, Cadillac? Can I ask you? Would you mind? How old are you?
Yeah. No, I'm about to be 30 at the end of this month.
Oh my gosh! Good Cadillac, honey. You already know I'm a seasoned woman. Let me just tell you, what he does now. You guys are young. You act like you finished life. No, he could clean up, get his stuff together, get his gig together. All of a sudden, he shows up looking real squeaky clean. Don't sleep on this, honey. I've seen people clean up from lower positions. Best believe that. So don't sleep on him. Let him pay his tithes for what he's done in previous lives, and let him show up properly if he's meant for you to be. So don't close that door quite yet. Just leave a little opening.
No.
Just a little opening, just in case homeboy comes around and looks real shiny. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I'll do that. You know, I mean, I don't close them out completely. It's just that feel, it gets so overwhelming. I can't even put it in words, and it's like it's just too much. And sometimes I pull away. I'm like, dude, I can't. Like, it gets so enhanced and intense.
I agree. It's frustrating.
Like, okay, I don't.
It's frustrating.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's frustrating. You want better. You want better for yourself.
No, go ahead there, Chicken.
No, you want better for yourself. You're frustrated, and you want somebody totally, and you want them healthy, and you want to have them when you want to have them. There's nothing wrong with that. You deserve that. So you're right to feel that way. And
yeah, that was a lot of our.
Yeah. And you know, like I said, if it's not
that was of our
issues.
Oh, I'm sorry. Keep going.
But no. Go ahead, C-Star. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say a lot of the time that was our problem. Like when we broke up, not to continue to go into it, but like 7 years after we broke up, he asked me back, and then I told him no because I was just like, you got other things you need to be worrying about right now. I don't think I should be your main concern. And then when I said that, he kind of did the whole, you know, ego kind of got in the way. Yeah, you're right. I don't know why I think I can be with someone like you. And it was just something, he was like a defense mechanism. And I'm like, why would you say that? Like, it's not even anything that I don't want to. It's just, I think you have other priorities that you need to be worrying about right now. Like, I should not be something that you should be wanting to deal with when you don't have your life together. And so, you know, he just kind of felt like he wasn't good enough. So, you know, we just had those things a lot, and yeah, that's all. I mean, I'm like I said, I'm past what we experienced in the past, but I get what you're saying to always be open in case he changes his ways.
I'm not. Yeah.
You know, I'm doing great.
I'm not saying for you to wait. I'm just saying you're young, and like I said, I'm a woman's age.
Yeah.
I've had I had a little boy who had a crush on me with my glasses and my weird walk, and you know, I watch ET shows. He had a crush on me as a little girl, and we used to fuss. And then when I became a woman, older, more maybe 15, 20 years later, he was absolutely immaculate and perfect for me. So, you know what I mean? So don't sleep on people's transformation. People change. And because you're so young still, even though you may have an old soul, which you most likely do, you have to, you know, you walk away with love and keep that connection, but you always say whatever, you know, I'll let the universe bring something if it's healthy and cohesive for me. And if he comes like that, then he'll have an entryway back into your life.
For
Alright.
sure. Yeah, that's kind of how I take it. But yeah, I'll do that. Well, that was all I had.
Alright.
I didn't have no Masterful sex yet. But
Well, listen, there's still time. There's still time. There's a lot of divine males. I'm gonna find all their numbers tonight and source them out.
Please do.
All right, Mama.
Okay, well,
Peace out.
I'm gonna let you go so you can be talking to everyone else.
All right, peace. Oh, I love it. Yeah, long distance love. Okay, I saw the other number. Somebody's telling me to get this number. So I see you 3 something 3. I'm gonna look for you since you told me. Hold on. Let me see if you're in here. The 3s. She's got some 3s in her number. 3. There you go. Is it 330? Is that the one? 2062. This is probably the last call. 330-2062. You're on the line with Flurboon. Peace, family. 330-2062. Hello. Are you there? Going once? Going to? Oh, is it 333? Oh, I'm thinking, did you guys just put numbers there? 330. I don't think that's the number that wanted to talk. Okay, so 330, I'm going to leave you be. 330, you don't want to talk? They don't even.
Hello.
Hi, 330.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you? That's so funny.
You didn't think I'd pick up. I'm sorry. Well, you're on here, and somebody keeps putting 333s up. So I figured it was your number, but maybe it wasn't you. So what's up, C-Star?
No, that's so exciting. I'm good. How are you?
I'm well. So what's up? Do you have anything to share, ask?
Okay, so I did, the spell to like reveal, different entities.
Yes.
And I find out, my dad's not human, and the guy I'm dating isn't human, and basically, long story short, I find out that the guy that I was dating was sort of like vamping on me,
Yes.
And after this, like, I just keep attracting like vampiric types. And I don't know, like, is it me? Like I'm a raw vegan. Like I try to live my life, like, right. I don't understand why.
That's why.
I keep attracting.
That's why.
Like men, and it makes me fearful to like engage in relationships because I immediately assume, like that you're not right, or, that you want something from me. And it's just like, it's making my life complicated.
Okay. We got to take the fear out, though. I want you to take a fear out, okay? Fear will manifest more of that. Remember, you're a light being. By eating very light, by eating very energetically high field, you're going to attract those things that are attracted from the dark. Things that are in the dark are always attracted to things in the light. So you're going to have that. Now, what you could be dealing with also is some sociological issues, like you could be attracting people. Most of us, the Freudian theory is that we attract our mother. Was your mother very strong-spirited? Was she very aggressive? Was she like that? Is she like the males that you're attracting?
Yes.
Okay, so we attract our mothers. That's what we're most attracted to. And once we acknowledge that, we can start to transform that. What you can do is I want you to take the fear away. The fear will attract more of it. Remember, what you repel will come closest to you. So I want you to take that out, okay?
Okay.
What I want you to start to do is, before the phone, okay. So what I want you to start to do, it's a series of things, and I did this myself, okay? So I want you to start to, it's going to seem real cheesy, but it works. Because I want to change your vibration of the thought of what you'll attract. Because every time you think of males to engage with, you always have a memory of those that were vampiring off you or parasites. Your mother has that field, so you're going to attract what you had as a mother. And that's what you're going to be most attracted to, and that's what you're going to be receptive to. So I need to change your perspective on love and relationships. So I want you to start to watch comedic, I know it's going to seem corny, comedic romantic comedies. Like things with, you know, like, no, I know it seems crazy, like 50 First Dates, you know, Along Came Polly. What it does is it changes your vibration. It makes everything more lighthearted. The things that you engage in watching will start to become part of your repertoire. So I want you to make it a point for the next week or 2, 3 weeks, if you can handle it, watch love comedies, okay? Then I want you to start to tell yourself, say every morning in the morning, every time you wake up in the morning, I am deserving, I am grateful for all that I am, and I am deserving of that which I resonate with and which I uphold. Start saying those things in the morning. Make mantras in the morning of saying gratitude for who you are, and you're deserving of having that in your life, more of you, something like you, likened to you. Okay? Also, start to make amends with your mother. I'm talking from a space, it's because there could be an issue with mommy, because mommy issues show up in our relationship. Start to make amends with her. First, start to forgive her for anything that she may have done, how she may have, whatever it was that creates a little adversity in you, and start to make conversations with her. Start to, you know, if you can muster it. I don't know how your mom is. Maybe make dates with her.
No, we just started working on our relationship.
Ah,
so
there we go.
it's funny that you said that.
Okay. That will help. When you start making amends with mommy, you'll start attracting better qualities of her showing up in men. Okay?
Okay.
And that will work.
Very good.
Okay.
One more quick question.
Yes.
So, okay, now that I can see, you know, these entities, and, like, a lot of them are my friends, you know, and it's, you know, I guess my question is, like, I don't want to necessarily discriminate, but should I avoid dating, like, non-humans or, like, hybrids, or is that...
Yes,
I don't...
Well, especially if they're reptilian. If you're breaking the code and you're seeing the reptilian eyes, I'm not a fan of dating. Reptilians could be cold, they calculated. I don't want to blanket them, but that's their general disposition. Even if they're cohesive reptilians, they tend to be very divisive by nature, even if they're trying to be better. So yes, I would say if you can meet beings, because you are attracted to, remember, your mom has a certain disposition, these beings also have that general disposition. So it could be comfortabilities why you're attracting those beings. You've always had that frequency on you based on your mother. So of course they would be attracted to your frequency because it's something you know. So as you change the aspect in relationship with your mother, you will start to attract lighter beings and start to call in other beings. It's okay to date subhumans. I don't want to say it like that. It's okay, but you want to date.
So I'm seeing, like, everybody. So, like, insects, like...
They're everywhere.
Ape-type beings.
Yes.
Okay.
But
but just no reptilians.
Well, I don't want to... I've had my taste of a few. I don't want to blanket them, but they're just... They tend to be a little cold. And when you need a little more loving and more nurturing relationship... Dating a reptilian or a reptilian hybrid, if someone has more reptilian, it just does not work out. It just doesn't give you that warm feeling. So I would say yes, you can date other beings, especially those like you heard the young lady who was like an Arcturian. The Arcturian hybrids tend to be lighthearted. They're very artistic. Artists have the Arcturian kind of field with them. Or date beings that are the insectilians are a little cold too. There's a lot of beings here that are just cold. That's why they did well in the last paradigm. Change aspects of you, change aspects with your mother, and you will start to attract more human, earthly type beings because you're eating very earthly. Because you're eating very earthy, you'll start to attract more earthy beings. But you got to heal that aspect of that, and it will transform your environment. But also start to watch lighthearted shows. Comedic romantic movies. You will find it will change your perspective. We're changing your frequency. Okay?
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it too. Masterful mating. PC star.
Absolutely. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Oh, I love it. I know. Listen, we don't talk about, and this is where we talked about our dealings with our parents, it shows up. Like if we have adversity. Remember, the Freudian theory is male and female will always date their mothers. So people always talk about the fathers being detrimental in the household. All the fathers do is make it or break it in the house. If a father's cohesive to the mother, he makes her more cohesive or a better person. If he's not, he could just make it more uncomfortable. But a mother's behavior affects her children way more than a father's behavior. So if we have adversity, if we have issues with our mother was neglectful, she was on drugs or alcohol, she was abusive or just not connected, it will show up in our relationships. You always attract your mother. You're always attracted to your mother. So qualities of your mother you will always find. So if you have issues with your mother, your relationships will have issues. You have to make peace with that aspect with your mother. And if you can't do it physically, person to person, you have to try to do it with yourself and work those issues out. See her position from an opposite point of view. Don't be so personalized. Sometimes when we're too close, it's hard. And it's hard to deal with our parents if we're too close to it. But try to deal with it from a different vantage point. Listen, we've got 2 more minutes. I think I can take one more call on this. Hold on. I'm going to take a call real quick. 208-8051. We only have 2 minutes left on the line. We can make this quick and then I'll take it offline. 208-8051. You're on the line with Fleur Room. Peace, family. 208-8051.
Greetings.
Greetings, PC Star. It's going to shut off. Blog Talk shuts off really quick. Hi, how are you? We've got like a minute left.
Good. Thank you. So I want to say that I'm so excited to be on this call.
Yes.
My first time going live with you. And you're beautiful. And hi,
appreciate
Star family. Anyway,
Yes.
my quick question is, can we go back and reclaim those orgasms that we didn't get a chance to claim? Is there a way to reclaim those back?
Very good question. Ooh, this is one of our... I love that question. Okay, so it may cut off. I hope you're watching. Otherwise, I'm going to answer in case Blog Talk, because it cuts off at midnight. But I'm going to answer this quickly. Yes, you can. This is a form of time traveling, but you can do that. It's interesting that you asked that because subconsciously you may know that you can. You can time travel. You can reclaim your orgasms based on the fact that time does not exist. Meaning that yesterday, today, and tomorrow all coexist at the same time. For that fact, you can resurface, you can go back to the scene of a crime, and you can reclaim that which was taken from you or that which you gave away.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
I hate when it does that. You can reclaim, if she's on here, you can reclaim those orgasms of past. Just like, what was that show, The Christmas Story? When the ghost of the past came, the ghost of the present, the ghost of the future, you can always reclaim. There's no such thing as time. Time is illusion. For that being said, everything's coincided at one point. If you're masterful enough, you can sit there in the presence and also pull in you can pull in that time frame. You can kind of cheat. It's a cheat sheet. If you don't accept the time, if you accept that time doesn't exist, it's just a form of control in this dimension. You can, especially in 4D, you can permeate through to a past experience, envision it, reclaim it, claim that orgasm, and pull it back and utilize it for manifestation. If you're masterful enough, you can do it all at once, all of them that you've ever given away without your consent, and then utilize it. That's interesting. So anyway, family, I am so grateful that everyone, hey Keisha, please, 1 + 3. I hope you had a good time tonight. It seemed like we got a lot of phone calls. We could have taken even more phone calls, but The Christmas Story, yes, a good movie. So I hope you enjoyed our show tonight. This is a bit of Flurburn After Dark. I guess I should mention a couple things while we're here because I can't take any more phone calls. But, reclaiming your orgasm is very important. Having masterful sex is about being connected to your mate, their inner world and outer world at the same time. And just know that there's no 2 wands that are ever alike. And for those, who are engaged in sex consistently with a mate and are feeling like it's just, some form of, like release, start to see it in a way that almost like a, I don't want to make it seem like a science experiment, but make it like a wonderful magical experience. Like if you're in Harry Potter school and you're taking this, you're in a laboratory and his magic wand is one of the tools and your Stargate is the other. And start to think of it in terms of that. And you can start to source together to start to masterfully utilize your, aspects of your partner and your partner likewise with you to be able to source out the energy. Start to also work in the form of tantric sex. There are many great books that actually are great resources in order to utilize certain energetic tools, to be able to learn certain positions, to be able to pull in or release or balance out energies. Also the Karma Sutra, which I'm a fan of. I love the art of the Karma Sutra. There are many different masterful positions that allow for the vortex to be able to fully take in the full amount of energy of the magic wand. And I'm saying, if you're not having masterful sex, then you need to, that should be your goal. And again, my sea stars, if he's not bringing you to orgasm, that is your responsibility to make sure that he does, or you're able to bring yourself. And like I said, if you're having sex and you're afraid to have this conversation, maybe that is not a position you should put yourself into. You should be having sex masterfully. And, someone was saying, oh, my thing is at 10%. Someone was saying, threesomes. Someone was asking about threesomes, foursomes. Orgies, just a way of beings to hoard off of your energy, and then you're going to have outside beings feeding off of you, and then you have STDs from several different partners that could very much attach to you. And that's why during orgies, many people who engage in orgies feel really, really tired after having sex for that in those platforms. So I would tell you to refrain from those type of sexual activities, as they're very parasitic and also they're very vampiric and very satanic like. That's why satanic people like to engage in that, because they have those beings that they're channeling or that are attached to their auric field that are requiring that kind of sexual depravity. And the same that goes with those who are engaged in polygamy. That's a form of hoarding, and sexually those energies are being swapped, especially if the beings engaged in that kind of sexual activity are very imbalanced, or someone has more energy or less, depending on blood type, bloodline, it depends. So anyway, my voice is going. I had a wonderful time. Thank you for joining us on Aquarius Rising 9th Gate. Thank you for our family on YouTube. This is the first time I ever got a chance to have you join us full time on Aquarius Rising. We'll try to do this more often. And of course, I have to thank my family on FB, who always represents on Aquarius Rising 9th Gate. And I have to thank our family on Blog Talk, as usual, who always shows up to enjoy the show. I hope the topic was great. I wish we could have talked about so much more stuff. Could have gotten a little more topic into there, but I hope it was. I hope this was a good resourceful show for you. And also, we found out something about twin souls. We found some criteria for twin souls, which I thought was interesting. You come in with similar times or dates. And usually, you have the same feeling. It's interesting, and you have a recognition of them. I love that part. I mean, we got some intel on the twin souls so that we can share this with other family members, and we can also utilize this as a form to be able to source out who's our life mate or twin soul or karmic mate or soulmate. Anyway, so it was beautiful. Thank you, family, for joining me on Aquarius Rising 9th Gate. Join us again next Thursday. Again, I'll try to do this more often with my YouTube family. Again, this is more of Fleur Room After Dark. We get a little more seedy. We actually kept it a little clean tonight, which is cool. And that's it. So I hope you have a good evening. I love you. And join us again. Mwah. Peace.